Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. I owe so many people so many apologies. And there are so many people out there now who have no idea that I owe them apologies. Right now, I can tell you right now, floating in the ether, there are people who are like, I sense a disturbance in the apology force. And it's like, yeah, because you got one coming from me, man. Everybody in this world is right now walking through a morgue, and I've just sent out an apology like a silver sphere to smash into your fucking forehead and drill into it. That's it.
Oh,
keep waiting.
Really? That's what you went with? That's
Yeah.
a great reference.
Keep waiting for your phantasm apology to smash you right into the fucking head. Because I think about it all the time. It's just like lurking out there that there's people from like 7 years ago who eventually are going to go, hey, wait a minute, you fucking jagoff. And I'm going to go, yeah, well, I was a fucking jagoff 7 years ago, but things have changed now. I'm absolutely not a jagoff any longer. Now I'm just like the nicest, coolest, most sedate person in the world. And I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to let everything happen to me. And then I'm going to curl into the fetal position and fucking die like the rest of us should in this goddamn nation. You know, there was a theme of this show early on. Like, it was probably year 2. I don't know when the fuck it happened. I can remember the specific episode that I brought it up, though. There was some dude. Actually, I apologize. I can't remember the specific episode because I can't remember specific episodes of anything that I've done. But I do know the specific incident or story that led me to this conclusion on the air. There was a guy who ran on the field at a Philadelphia Phillies baseball game. And he was dancing around and doing his dumb bullshit. And he's like, ha, look at me. I'm on the field. I'm a baseball player. Ah, ha, ha. Yay, wee. It's just like when I was a little boy and I played catch with my dad. Yes, but when you're playing catch with your dad, the cops didn't come out and fucking tase you in front of 40,000 people. So that's what happened in Philadelphia. This motherfucker ran on the field. And he's like, wee, and he's skipping around. And the players are like, get the fuck away from me. And then he gets fucking jolted or whatever the fuck. And he passes. And he's on the ground shaking. Everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe they fucking tased that guy. It's like, here's exactly what I said. Don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. That's it. That's the rule of life. That's the letter of the law. That's what you should have. That's in the, literally open the Bible. It should have Jesus fucking giving you finger guns, and it just say, don't do stupid shit if you don't want stupid shit to happen to you. Exactly. That's it. That's all you need to know. I don't need to know about Leviticus and fucking baskets of kids floating in the weeds. I don't need to know about a river and a plague. I don't need to know about fucking Jews towing pyramids or whatever the fuck. I don't need to know Pharaoh and Yul Brynner. I don't need to know any of that cocksucking bullshit. All I need to know is it's Jesus with finger guns pointing at you, and it just says, don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. There you go. There's your Bible. Fuck 8,000 pages. Fuck the New Testament and the Old Testament. Fuck guys interpreting Jesus' word. That should be Jesus' word. He just comes down again. Ba-boom! Finger guns. Don't do like Larry on Three's Company or something. That's who Jesus is, a cool guy. He just sashays in his sandals. He's wearing his frock. He's got a chicken leg from the Last Supper. He turns 5 of your fish into 50. He turns water into wine. He gives you finger guns. And he goes, don't do dumb shit unless you want dumb shit to happen to you. And he fucking bails. That's it. He gets back on his fucking Silver Surfer surfboard and goes back to space. Fuck yeah, that's exactly what the fucking Bible should be. That's what the second coming should be. Jesus should just float down in a fucking tornado and land and be like, ha, it's me, fucking Jesus, the G-Man, you know me, beard. And everybody will go, who's that black guy claiming to be the savior? That's what everybody will say because they've been misinterpreted as they've seen drawings and shit like that and gone, Jesus is like a really good-looking member of Lynyrd Skynyrd, right? Isn't that possible? No, Jesus was like a black dude. You know, Jesus looks like fucking Omar from The Wire. Get used to it. That's what he looks like. But no, you've all been told that Jesus looks like the fucking third guitarist in Poison. I know there's one guitarist in Poison, Jesus Christ. Everybody out there is just like, Mike, I had more respect for you. You should know that it's only CC and he's the only one carrying the mantle of guitarist in there. Yeah, I get it. All right, so yeah, you all think Jesus looks like Vivian Campbell. He doesn't. Jesus does not look like anybody in fucking, any Southern rock band. Jesus looks like a black dude. That's what he looks like. So he's going to come down. He's going to go, hey, how's it going, everybody? And he just goes, ba-boom, don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. Now, that was what I said early on when I started doing the show. That's what I said in the beginning. That's what I brought to your attention. That's what I wanted to make sure you knew about. That was my philosophy, and I hope yours. I hope you, if you didn't have that philosophy up to the moment I said it, I hope you saw the error of your ways and you adopted it as your personal philosophy. But here's what I'm here to tell you now, folks. It's 2017. We're in year 9 of what is a 10-year experiment, I'm going to call it. I think, if we can even get to fucking year 10, because we're late in year 9, so I still have optimism for year 10. I don't know what's going to fucking happen in year 10. I can tell you this, I hope my producer gets off her fucking phone at some point and pays attention to what the fuck I'm saying. That'd be great.
Attention.
Who are you texting? Who the fuck are you talking to?
I'm not texting anyone. I'm doing my job as a producer.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, tell the outside sources that you're talking to and going, oh, I can't believe I'm trapped doing this bullshit. Like in your study hall, writing notes and passing them back and fucking forth while I'm trying to do a goddamn fucking show.
You really are so not passive aggressive.
I'm not passive aggressive at all. I'm telling you right the fuck. Before we started, I said, put your phone away. We're doing a fucking show. And boom, immediately text.
You didn't say that to me before the show, but okay.
Yeah, I did. You didn't notice because you're on your fucking phone. God damn it.
So full of shit.
I should just do this in a fucking chamber. Literally, put me in one of those chambers where they have money blown up from the ground, and I'll try to grab money and talk at the same fucking time. How about that? I don't need anybody, right? Is that what the fuck how it works? I don't fucking know. Oh, all right.
Are
okay.
you mad at me still?
Well, I see what you're doing.
Now
Then,
are you mad at me still for doing my job?
but then say to me, just go, hey, we're doing this.
It's not my job to interrupt you while you're talking, to go, just so you know, I'm going to do my job while you're talking.
Yeah, you just got to be in another room maybe or something. Because I see you texting. I'm talking, and it's like the show. You're the show. You're on who I'm talking to.
In the show with you.
But if I was in a comedy club, and I did a joke, and somebody immediately took out their phone.
You're not in a comedy club. You're sitting with your producer making great art happen. It's funny you get angry.
There's nothing. First of all, hold on. We can take great right out of that sentence. And honestly, we're being completely honest with ourselves. Let's go ahead and throw art out the fucking window too. I'm yelling. I'm not making anything great. I'm not making anything art. I'm not making anything about Art Gerard, who I went to Westview with in fucking 6th grade. It was me and Art Gerard and Rich Knudsen and all these other cats in 6th grade.
This is going to be so funny.
Sure it is. No, it isn't. But now, because now it looks like I stole that.
Here, I'm going to post this right now in the group, and I'm literally going to write, I got yelled at for this.
But now it looks like, you know what? Now I feel stupid because I said Jesus Finger Guns. It looks like I stole it from that image. I told you.
I created the image for you.
Did you create it in your own image? Is that what you're trying to say?
I created it in your image. Although I don't know if he's black enough.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
That's the whole point. If you can get Omar from The Wire doing finger guns and have it say that.
Oh my God.
All right. So the point is, folks, like I said, that should be your fucking Bible. That should be your one commandment. Fuck freedom of the press and all those other bullshit commandments. I think you should just fucking say to yourself, you know what? Don't do dumb shit unless you want dumb shit to happen to you. That's
well,
it.
now you said unless.
What did I say normally?
You originally said don't do shit. Don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb
Yeah,
shit
don't do
to
dumb
happen
shit
to you.
if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you.
I just want to make sure I quoted you.
Right.
And Jesus Christ.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you go back to the episodes in the past when I talked about it at the Phillies game, I can tell you absolutely it's year 28 for episode 4. Actually, year 4, episode 28. God, if I do 28 years of this, let's think about that. I'm 50 and 10. Send me another 8. I'd be 68 doing this show. Holy Jesus Christ, what a mess would that be? 68 just from the fucking bed in an old folks home somewhere. Just talking to people, waiting for my hip to snap. Good Christ. How awful would that be? Just some ancient old dude. Just fucking like, I look like the dude in Kung Fu. I let my hair fucking grow and I got my eyes all cataracty. What?
If your producer's older than you, you might want to stop this.
Hey, you're lucky if you get past this show after I just fucking screamed at you. Like you're going to be there when I'm 68. Although, how great would that be if we were in the same fucking room? We had the same old folks home. We got checked into the same joint.
Just so you know, Eddie and I are going to forever live there. Rob is going to forever live there. And every Tuesday, you're coming over.
But let's just say, let's talk. No, but let me think about this. I'm 68 and I'm old and I'm ready to check into an old folks home. And then Eddie dies in a horrible bowling pin juggling accident.
Do not ever say those words.
In a horrible bowling pin juggling accident. And then you go, well, fuck, I got to go with Mike into the old folks home. There you go. Boom. It's perfect. Which means I have to start booby trapping bowling pins for a juggling accident in 18 years.
No, there's no old folks home.
So don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. That's what I've said all along. And look, let's put it this way. I haven't always been able to live by that credo.
You think?
But I've been able to advance it to you and tell you what's going on. So I say don't. That's what me and Jesus say. Don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. I don't care about any of the other commandments. Just have that as the only one. Finger guns, boom. He turns all the fish into more fish and he fucking bails.
Turn the fish into more fish.
That's what he did, right? He turned the fishes and he took one fish and a loaf of bread and he fed 4,000 people. Jesus should be at like every baseball game. That'd be fucking perfect. But then they would lose all the concession money. Does that work with all fish for Jesus? Like he can turn any fish into any fish? Because I'll tell you what if everybody's like, fuck, we only got sardines. And he goes, boom, salmon. That's me. Because everybody likes salmon more than they like sardines, right? Can he change the quality of fish is my point? Or is he just multiplying different fish? And also loaves of bread. Is he like, fuck white. Boom, 12 grain. There you go. Hey, boom, marble rye. How you doing? Jesus sounds a lot more like a magician in my story.
Yes.
I like that. That's okay, though.
A lot like a magician in the Bible, too.
Well, of course he does. Because he brought all of the people together. He brought the Egyptians and the pharaohs and the Jews and everybody together, and they had a big dinner, and everybody was happy at the end, right? I may not have read the whole book.
That's going to go a different direction.
He's fine. They carry him off on their shoulders. Everybody's happy. They're like, yay, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. There's actually 5 pages of the Bible that just say, Jesus, Jesus. That's them chanting. That's the Roman centurions and the fucking the slaves. They get together and they have first of all, Jesus saves the community center from being torn down by the rich guy who owns the ski lodge, and everybody goes, ha ha, Jesus, bum 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 bum, and then Twist and Shout plays and they all carry Jesus off on their shoulders. Look, that's a good Bible. That's my Bible. It's got all the elements you want. It's got a soundtrack. It makes you feel good. Jesus gets crucified, right? Which, first of all, I might take that out of the book. I don't know if I want Jesus to be crucified. I want him, he just goes into the cave for 3 days to think. And then everybody's like, oh man, where's Jesus? And all of a sudden you just hear walking on sunshine kicks in. But I'm walking on. And he boosts out of the cave and he's just fucking floating around because he walks on water, right? So then he walks on the fucking lake. Perfect. Like Rick Ocasek. All right. So Jesus is a lot like Rick Ocasek. They both fuck Paulina Porizkova. How do you forget about her? Please. She's in the Drive video looking all sad and crazy. Because Rick Ocasek, that's always got to be the weirdest band meeting of all time. And he's like, hey, you know what? This song is perfect. I've got a great idea for the concept of the video. Benjamin, you're going to be at a piano and you're going to be singing. And then my wife's going to do a bunch of stuff where she looks sad. Everybody goes, wait a minute, hold on. Why is Yoko involved in this again? Yoko Etskova? That's what it is. That's what Paulina Porizkova. That's her fucking name. Because she brought the cars to their knees. She fucking broke them out. She gave Ben Noor cancer. She made Elliot Easton right-handed. She fucking ruined the whole band.
I don't think that's...
She totally did. Paulina Porizkova weighs... Because she's another one, by the way, where if you talk to her, did you know that she's a genius? She's like a modeling genius. Or is she a genius modeling? I can't figure it out. You got to flip-flop it. But Paulina Porizkova, she's another one, but she's got that IQ of like 250 or something like that. That seems high. She's not Dolph Lundgren. That's what I mean. That's the surprise smart people. They freak you out because most celebrities are dumb. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I don't know if I would go with that.
You know what? I take that back. You're absolutely right. Most people are dumb, which is why they're doing dumb shit without thinking of the consequences of having dumb shit happen to them. But I would say most celebrities are actually pretty smart. But let's put it this way: the new wave of celebrities are stupid because they're not real. Because you know why? Because they're regular people. Anybody on The Bachelor is a dumb fuck. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. And granted, the guy's not so much of a dumb fuck because he gets laid 10 times in a week, which is good for him.
If you can be on a reality show and you parlay that into something else, I think that's a smart move.
But what if you just parlay it into more reality bullshit?
Maybe all you want to do is be a reality star.
Who was the gay dude who died who ran for office?
What?
There was like a gay reality guy and then he became mayor and then he fucking died of AIDS.
What?
Dude, it was he was from the MTV's show. Because it was the show with Puck. Puck was the idiot who spit in his own hand and then smoothed his hair back. And then he was mean to everybody and he put snot in their peanut butter. And then there was a gay dude there who was like, hey, Puck, you're a jerk. And then he became mayor. Like that guy. And then he died of AIDS.
What are you talking about?
There's a dude from the real life, yes. Like from the first episode of The Real Life. It's like I said, Puck was a jerk.
I watched The Real Life.
Puck was one of those idiots who like pissed in your bed and he short-sheeted everybody. He's like, ha, and he poured he changed out your conditioner for Crisco.
Snooki of the times?
Kind of. Yeah, Puck was ground zero for shitty reality idiots.
Yeah.
But then there was a dude there who became everybody's hero. He was like a
I don't
heartthrob.
know his name. I apologize.
Gay heartthrob councilman who then died of AIDS.
Shame.
It is a terrible shame. That's what I'm saying. But he seemed like that's what I mean. That's the yin and yang of reality TV. You got gay heartthrob who becomes a councilman, and then dumb fuck who puts his cock in your jelly. I mean, fuck that. I don't want that guy around. But that's what reality works on. They go, we got to go out, because that caused the template for everybody, where they just went, you know what? We need to find gay heartthrob councilman, and we need to find the guy who put his earwax in the peanut butter. We need to find that cat.
Ew.
And we need to put them in a house and see what happens. Yes, ew, exactly. I agree with you. Are you gagging? Dude, I made Pardo gag on Never Not Funny the other day. Because I was talking about working at Wendy's, and it's like, he can't take anything about meat. And I was talking about, I was talking about raw meat. I thought it was just like smelling meat cooking or talking about meat cooking. But dude, when you start talking about meat, I forgot he also gets nasty, because I was talking about how when I worked at Wendy's, I had to get there because I forget what he was saying about the burgers. I go, nah, dude, fuck that. I go, that's fresh every day. I go, I get there at 6 in the fucking morning. I had to whack open, I'd cut open bags, like 25-pound bags of beef, and dump them into a fucking hopper, and it would fucking spit out squares, and I just have to stack them. I did that for 3 fucking hours. And let me tell you this, you smell great afterwards. Oh my Christ, you smell like you've had both your hands up a cow's ass for an entire fucking morning. It's just awful. But with blood mixed in, so that's even better.
Oh,
yeah, take that and
God.
run with it, everybody.
See, now that in itself doesn't make me gag, but the thought of putting something into food makes me gag.
Oh, like putting, are you not
Don't repeat it again.
you're not like a splasher? You're not like that kind of deal?
Yeah, but I don't want to think about you putting something foul in food I'm going to eat. I'll sit in a pie. I don't give a shit. That's
Right.
fun. But I don't want to think about food having been contaminated with things that are not food.
Like a cock.
Well, even a cock is not like body waste that was put in there. Or,
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So if somebody put like aspirin in your sweet tarts, you'd be like, eh.
Well, I would be like, but you eat aspirin if you have a headache. What I'm talking about is the whole
Oh, stuff that doesn't work.
earwax in the peanut butter makes me gag.
Oh yeah, well I agree, and rightfully so. It should make anybody gag.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody put like dishwashing detergent in your chocolate syrup.
Stop.
Okay, well I'm not doing these things. You know why? Because that would be dumb shit. And then I would forget that they were in there, and I would eat them, and that would be the dumb shit that happened to me thereafter. And I would cause my own demise, my own detergent eating demise.
I had a roommate once that got so high, she went to do a prank on me, and then was so high she forgot she did it and fell for her own prank.
Really? And now she's dead.
No, but
Wait, say that again. Just deliver it again and let me finish it.
I had a friend who got so high they went to do a prank on me, but then were so high they forgot they did it and ended up pranking themselves.
And it took 4 hours to get her out of the bear trap.
I don't think but it
There's always that,
dumb
but that's
shit.
why I hate pranks. There's always somebody who goes like that much farther. You know what I mean? They're just like, instead of someone who's like, ha, I put a glass of water on the door and it fell on him. Ha. It's like, well, someone's like, hey man, that's funny. But what if we put hydrochloric acid in that cup instead? Get the fuck out of here, advanced prank guy.
Put it up in a glass pitcher.
Yeah.
They couldn't find a plastic one.
Dude, you're not going to believe this. Fucking Ronnie fell asleep on the couch. Let's put his hand in warm water so he pisses himself. No, that's hilarious. I got a better idea. What if we take a dustbuster and suck his eye out of the socket? What? It'd be hilarious. It would teach him for closing his eyes and going to sleep, and then he'd have a patch on his eye for the rest of his life. Wouldn't that be funny? And then every time he looked in the mirror, he would remember that prank. It would last long. He would remember. It's like a long-lasting prank for the end of his life. No, dumb fuck. Dude, what if we gave him like a rubber spoon so every time to scoop his yogurt it bent and he couldn't able to get it? Dude, that's totally funny. Instead, what if we took a metal spoon and we dug out his fucking sinuses? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Then he wouldn't be able to smell anything the rest of his life. He would think of us all the time. This is the way to make our mark on Don's face.
Oh my Christ.
That's what I'm saying. I hate pranks because there's always some ass fuck who goes, yeah, wouldn't it be funnier if we did this? Dude, let's totally lock the dogs in the laundry room so he thinks that they're gone. Even better, let's kill the dogs and put him in his bed. Wait a minute, what? It'll be hilarious. Trust me. Wait till you see his face. Yeah, fuck that. But the guy who does that, inevitably then all of his pets will die because dumb shit happens to people who do dumb things. Don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. That was the rule. I always thought that was the rule. I advanced it in year 2 of this podcast, whenever the fuck it was, and now I maintained it my whole life. Like I said, I don't always follow that rule, but I've maintained it.
Is there an example of you not following that rule?
I don't recall. But But here's why I bring it up, and here's why I talk about this. Because I thought that was a pretty good credo. I thought that was a good way to live your life. Like I said, it should be the Bible. It should just be that. Just fucking smiling Jay, and he's just like, haha, don't do dumb shit. You don't want dumb shit to happen to you. But with the way the world has turned, every day I turn on the news, I go on the internet, and I see things, and I got news for everybody. Dumb shit's gonna happen to you.
No doubt.
No matter what the fuck you do with your life. You can live an A+ clean life, and then one day you're on the runway sitting in an airplane, and they tell you got to get the fuck off, even though you paid for that ticket with your hard-earned money, and you need to get home to Louisville to take care of your patients in your doctor center. And they went, no, you got to get off this fucking plane. And you went, no, I paid. Well, we'll give you $400 to get off the plane. Nah, that's okay. Well, what about $800? Nah, that's okay. All right. Well, then we're going to have the police come in and beat you up in front of everybody and drag you off the fucking plane. Is that okay? No, that's not okay. But the problem is, in the world that we're in now, it is okay. It seems like now it's okay to do dumb shit to everybody. And when you complain or get upset about it, you know what they do? They find dumb shit you did 20 years ago and try to say it justified your beating on the fucking airplane.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, folks. They dragged a guy off a fucking United flight the other day. Now, personally, as a traveler, you'd have to drag me onto a fucking United flight. I've been in there. I've experienced them. No bueno. No good. Not a fan. Do not care for their service. Care even less for their service now, quite frankly. So they, and look, I'm setting this up because, and this is the hard thing with social media. This is the hard thing with Twitter and instant gratification and instant news. You know the story. Like, I feel like I need to set it up for anybody who hasn't heard it, but I don't know who the fuck lives. Who is the fucking Ted Kaczynski listening to this fucking show? I don't know if the Unabomber or somebody has not heard about what's going on in the United plane, but I feel like I need to set it up. Apparently they had a full plane going to Louisville, and then they boarded that fucking plane. Okay? And you jump in if I'm wrong. Nope. But they boarded the plane. So people are sitting on the plane, and then United announces, hey, you know what? We actually need 4 seats to send our crew members to Louisville. It's important. And the passengers are kind of like, well, that's unfortunate. Because if you look around, this whole plane's full of people. People who paid to be on this plane. People who paid you for the privilege of being on this plane. It's not like I just, you know what? Nobody fucking bought a scalped ticket for this airline and snuck on unbeknownst to the United personnel. Everybody out there bought a ticket from United, handed it to a United guy, and got on the United plane to go to their home or to go to some business trip or to go to fuck 5 whores. Who cares what the fuck they did? The point is they paid for the privilege and you let them on the fucking plane. So then they announced, well, we got to send our employees away, and we'll give you guys, anybody here at $400, and everybody's like, nah, that's okay. They said, well, we'll give you guys $800. Now they are authorized in the United States. The limit is $1,350.
No, the maximum they are required to pay is $1,300. They can pay $25,000 if they want.
Oh, I heard they were only allowed to go to $1,350.
They are only required
to offer $1,350. Well, they didn't even get to that.
No.
They stopped at $800 because, giant company. It's not like they have any other money to offer anybody as an incentive to inconvenience them for the fucking bullshit that they're about to put them through. And look, I've dealt with this shit before. Like I was in a flight in Dallas, and they were like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, it looks like this flight's been canceled." You're just sitting in the airport, like, "What the fuck? Why?" Well, just because, things. Hilarious. Anyway, here's $4. And you're just like, what the fuck is this going to do? But they'll give you like $11 for food credit in the airport. You ever been in the airport?
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh. $11?
Yep.
You know what that let you do? It lets you walk past the display of trail mix. That's about what it gets you. That's all $11 gets you in the airport. You get to poke your face into Hudson News and go, hey, you guys got snacks in here? Great, thanks. And they take your $11 voucher and you walk the fuck away empty-handed. Because they are robber barons. Because airlines and airports don't give a fuck about you as a person, and they never, ever have. And they never will. So they came in and they offered these vouchers. They offered $400. They offered $800. Now, they could have gone to $1,300. Maybe that convinces somebody to get off the plane, but that's the problem. See, you've let everybody on the plane. And in doing so, you've already put them through the fucking Bataan death march of trying to shove their fucking carry-ons into that tiny space above them. You've also forced them to try to fit their normal human-sized ass into the pygmy 8th grade fucking size ass seat that you've given these people, that you've allowed them to rent for 3 hours as they fly to fucking Louisville. You've already let them in and they've settled in. I mean, look, trust me, I know, again, as a frequent traveler, I get on the fucking plane, I sit the fuck down, I man spread out, hoping nobody, because I sit in Southwest, so it's the thing where people have to decide whether they're going to sit next to you or not. I won't lie, I man spread the fuck out. I drop my balls on the floor of the plane and I spread both knees in 2 different area codes, hoping nobody sits next to me. Hopefully they see me and they go, yeah, it's going to be an uncomfortable flight. So I try to send a subtle message that you should keep walking and not fucking sit next to me.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Please do.
I don't believe you man spread on
All
a
right.
plane. I believe you allow yourself to take up as much room as you need to take up as a person of your size, trying to sit in a seat that is too small for you.
There's no doubt about that. But the thing is, as a giant guy...
I don't want you to make people think that you do it specifically because you're a dick. You literally have sat down in a seat that is not designed for a person of any size. I don't think you're doing it
Well,
as
that's
a dick,
exactly
as
right.
a man.
That's the point. It's
Yeah.
a seat that's not designed for anyone but children.
Yes. So I believe you're going, look, I'm bigger. If you want to sit somewhere else, please do. This is going to be
All right,
uncomfortable.
let me re-clarify. I sit the way I would sit anywhere.
Yes.
That's what I do when I get on the plane. If you happen to sit next to me, believe me, I will crawl into the wall of the plane and I will cross my arms the entire flight to give you whatever the armrest you can get. Because again, nobody wants to sit next to the fat guy on plane. I get that. But when I'm sitting by myself, I will allow myself to sit like I would sit outside to show them, hey, look, you know, I need a lot of room. If there's any other place you can sit, that'd be great. But if somebody decides to sit next to me, and they often do,
Yeah.
then you squish up and you go, hey man, I'm sorry about this. This is just the way it is. So when you have people who get on a plane and they've already fucking wedged themselves into the tiny little fucking hamster wheel you've given them to sit in for the next hour or 2 hours or 15 fucking hours, whatever the fuck it is, nobody's anxious to get off the fucking plane because that is the finish line. You've reached the finish line. You think I will tell you this, you're not at the finish line until they say doors have closed. You know, that's always the coin flip, because you'll sit there and I will bury myself in my fucking seat. I put on my earbuds and I just sit there and I listen to fucking Tool and I don't even think about it. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want anybody to sit next to me, but hopefully we just get in the air and get the fuck out of this town so I can get over to whatever town I'm going to be in to see whoever the fuck I'm going to see. So, I mean, the mistake was letting people on the plane. Once they're in the plane, they don't want to get off. So you come in and you start with your fucking carnival barker bullshit and your auctioneer nonsense. You're like, hey, I got $400, $400. Who's got a seat for me? $400. Hey, $800. And nobody wants to take you up on it. And so then the employees, instead of going up to the $1,300 limit, they just went, well, then we're just going to take 4 of you off the plane. And when I say take you off the plane, I mean take you off the fucking plane. We're going to let a computer decide because, you know, that's what human beings do. They go ahead and just turn to the machines to cull the herd because it's the fucking Terminator times. And we all got to worry about Robert Patrick showing up on the plane and fighting with the fucking T-1000, whatever the fuck. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with the world? These motherfuckers paid to be on the plane. You let them on the plane. They gave you money for a service that you ostensibly are supposed to provide to them. That's called capitalism. The problem is the people on the plane are on the wrong fucking side of capitalism. So they threw it to the computer. And what a shock. The computer chose the frail Asian man to throw off the plane. That's surprising, right? I gotta be honest, I've heard after the fact, because the second I heard it, when I saw the guy and I heard the name, I was like, well, that's not by design, I'm sure. I'm sure they didn't think of the guy who would put up the least amount of struggle or fight. They said, hey, is there a 69-year-old man on the plane? Nice. 69-year-old Asian guy. And they figured he would just come quietly because that's what they do in those countries. And they told him he had to come off, and he's like, no. And look, they were supposed to remove 4. Was he the first guy they went to? I don't fucking know.
Another couple left first.
And they just split. Well, and he told them, and again, you're hearing 9 different fucking stories. Hey, he did this. Hey, he pulled out a samurai sword and he challenged everybody to a fight. Hey, he refused to go and he tried to climb into the onboard motor. All I know is he paid. He's on the plane. Let him fly. Let him fucking fly. But they insisted to get him off the plane, and I saw the video. Okay, I saw the video where he's like, no, and then they bring the cops in. They bring the cops in to remove a paying customer from their fucking plane. Because again, dumb shit will happen to you anywhere in the fucking world now. Because we've been taught, and look, I'm not going to hang this all on the White House. I'm not going to hang it all on that. But our world has changed to the point where nobody apologizes and everybody fucking doubles down on their nonsense. Everybody goes, well, we had to get him off the plane. And they invent shit words like the president of the CEO. We had to reaccommodate this passenger. Well, that's some real fucking verbal gymnastics there, you fuck. We had to reaccommodate.
Voluntarily accommodate. Think about that.
Dumb shit will happen to you anywhere now. So they get to drag this guy off the fucking plane. He falls, he hits his head. He's bleeding. Then there's that fucking video. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know where this video came from. The one where he runs to the back of the plane.
They got him off and he came back on.
Yes, how? How the fuck, first of all, how does that happen? Because you know why? I'll bet those cops went, this is fucking stupid. And they let him go, and he fucking probably sprinted back onto the plane, and he tried to hide in the galley, which makes no fucking sense. But the worst part to me is that, and again, this is where it's going, and it goes like this a lot. And I can't hang it all on fucking Trump. But at his rallies, when he would call for, hey, get this person out of here, get that person out of here, and you ever see that video of the old man? He's like a 70-year-old man who just punches a black kid in the face. Mm-hmm. And then it became, I guess, a feel-good story when they went to court, and then the guy apologized, and they all became friends. And it's like, and everybody's like, oh, isn't that cool that guy forgave that dude for punching him in the face? No, it's not. I understand we're all supposed to be the bigger person, but the problem is all of the people that are in the right are always expected to be the bigger person, and all of the fucking meth head hillbilly jagoffs who do something fucking stupid, or the authority figures who do something stupid, are the ones who have to be forgiven, and we're supposed to do that. Everyone now is like, well, they're saying the United employees did what they were supposed to, because even the quote from the employee was, well, we told them to get off the plane. What are we supposed to do at that point? You're still a fucking human being. You're not supposed to bloody up an old man's face and drag him off a fucking plane.
Yep.
Again, if he's causing a problem, if he's belligerent, if he's stolen peanuts, if he's done anything that you can fucking call a crime on the plane, bust fucking 9 tasers in his ass and fry the fuck out of him until you get to Kentucky. Fuck that. I don't care. If you fuck around on a plane, that's the thing. You're invited. Don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. He wasn't doing dumb shit.
Nope.
He paid for transportation that you were supposed to provide, and then you randomly told him to get the fuck off the plane. And then doubled down on it. That's the thing that I can't, that's what's untenable to me. Yeah. Because we've all been in that situation where we've had to deal with fucking Edie McClurg at the counter. And she's been like, yeah, no, I can't help you. Nah, can't do it. I had that fucking happen. I was in Dallas. I'm flying to Dallas. I was leaving Jill in Milwaukee, and I was going to Dallas to go to LA. I'm flying to Los Angeles. So I land, I'm there, and it turns out my flights, I got like a 2-hour layover in Dallas. At the very next gate, there's a flight to Burbank. And it's boarding in like 15 minutes. So I go to the woman and I go, hey, is there room on the Burbank plane? She goes, yeah, actually that flight's almost empty. I think it's like 1/3 full. I said, can I make a switch from this plane to that plane? She goes, yeah, no problem. I go, fantastic. Let's make that switch. She pushes about a fucking 400 buttons on her machine. She goes, all right, we can go ahead and switch it right now. The transfer fee is $100, and then it's $250 for the ticket. It's $350. I think it was $300, some fucking exorbitant number. And I looked at her and I said, what? And she goes, yeah, you have to switch. I go, what do you mean you have to switch? She goes, well, you have to pay to switch flights, and then you have to pay the difference in ticket price. I said, you just told me that plane is 2/3 empty. Well, yeah, sure, but we have to accommodate. No, you don't have to accommodate a fucking thing. I'm right here. That plane is empty. I'm going to the same place. In fact, that gets me closer to my fucking house. If she would have said $20, I would have done it. They wanted like $300. And I stared at her and I just go, you can't be serious. I mean, you really want me to pay $300 to get on that plane and save an hour? You just said the plane's 2/3 less. And she goes, that's our policy, sir. I said, you know what? Rape's not a policy. It's a felony. And she, that got her attention. It didn't make her want to put me on the other plane. Although I would think that it would. Wouldn't you want her to get me the fuck out of there at that point? I talked about this on a fucking past show. I mean, it was insane. But again, it's because the airlines are robber barons. They can do whatever they want. I did a joke 20 years ago when I first started doing stand-up. about how you walk into an airport, a can of Coke outside is 50 cents. You walk into the airport, it's $4 because you can't get Coke anywhere else in the airport. There's no competition at all. I used to say you could put a post office in the airport. Holy fuck. It'd be $800 to send a letter, for fuck's sake. Stamps would be fucking $50. But we are now in an era where dumb shit can happen to you. And then they double down. That's the thing is, again, I hate to hang it on him, but Trump doesn't apologize. He does shit and then he doesn't apologize for it. So these corporations are taking their cue from him because they see that he's basically Teflon and nothing fucking sticks to him. So they do the same fucking thing. The United guy didn't apologize. That voluntarily reaccommodate a fucking passenger who was belligerent. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
That guy can't even pronounce belligerent, let alone be it.
Well, we don't.
He's Asian.
Stop.
And I know you want me to apologize for that, but again, it's a new era. We don't have to. But even worse is now the secondary wave of apologies are people like victim blaming him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I see people online that are like, oh man, is this the way you really want to go out screaming like a baby and getting dragged off a plane? Are you really judging this dude? Again, he's a 70-year-old man. Because this is another thing that people don't understand. I see all these people because I know I read a guy who also was like, hey man, you got to drag me off a plane. We're fighting forever. Like, I mean, we're doing this. I will just one at a time the fuck out of you guys because because it's a small tube. Okay, so it'll be just old boy. I'll be at the end of it and I'll just fight dudes all the way fucking coming down. I'll just dispatch them one at a fucking time because they can't bum rush me if I'm in the aisle. So I'm like, fuck this. I'll fuck everybody up on a plane. Because that's me, okay? That's me and the way I would handle shit. If fucking 4 dudes tried to drag me off of a plane, we got business. But there are people in the world who don't like violence, who find it foreign to them, who don't have any interest in a physical confrontation. They don't want to have a verbal confrontation. You know what they want to do? They want to fly home to Louisville without a fucking battle royale breaking out in the sky. So if you can't find it inside yourself to have some humanity and empathize with that poor guy, imagine, and because now I'm hearing, oh yes, he was a bad guy, he sold a bunch of drugs, and again, literally 12 years ago, they're digging up his fucking criminal record from 12 years ago. They're digging up shit that he did and trying to hang that, and in some way correlate that to why they dragged him off the plane. Now, if you told me, hey, look, our computer finds felons and tears them off the plane first when we try to get people to switch their flights out, well, then that's discriminatory. First of all, you shouldn't admit it in a public place. But at least would give you a baseline for your pyramid of prejudice. You know what I mean? It's like, then I would understand.
Pyramid of prejudice.
Well, then I would understand. You know, you could admit then if you had it's seriously, our hatred of others is well rooted in this particular policy that we have that we don't ever tell you guys about. And then I see people arguing the carriage of contract and then the passenger's rights. And it's like, dude, you know what? I don't want to hear any of that. I want to fly home to Louisville. I don't want to ever whip out the carriage of contract. Nobody wants to scroll on the plane. Nobody wants to argue about what you have to provide for me. Oh, just give me a ride home. That's it. It's like when I'm in Uber and people go, hey, where's your charger? Hey, where's your gum? Fuck you, I'm a car. That's it.
Fuck you, I'm a car.
I drive you the fuck home. That's it. That's all I'm supposed to do. It doesn't say Uber, the fucking vacation away from home where you get to do whatever the fuck you want in the car. No, it says we'll get you there, whatever the fuck it was. That was an old Leno joke. The Fly the Friendly Skies. Greyhound, we get you there. That was their fucking slogan. But that's what I do, man. And you know, there's no rules and carriage of contract and passengers' rights. Dude, if there were passengers' rights, then there'd be a courtroom in the sky and just have a fucking flying judge and we could go up and have a fucking hearing in the middle of the goddamn flight because you know what? We're all bored anyway. Hey, look, my earbuds, the iPod just died. Let's have a court case. I mean, fuck. What are you trying to sell me? I thought I bought a plane ticket. You flew me to where I was supposed to go. That's it. I don't expect any more out of you because you've taken it all away. It used to be, yes, we ate in the sky and you gave us pillows and covers and all that other bullshit. Now you give us fuck all. You give us nothing. Southwest gives me, a free drink and then a bag of fucking nuts and pretzels. And that's more than I get in American. It's more than I get in United. Any of those motherfuckers. They give you dick. They give you nothing. They used to make you rent fucking headphones for $10 or whatever the fuck it was. And then they'd be like, oh, you can keep those. Oh, I can I? This plastic and foam that cost you 4 cents and 4 Taiwanese orphans died making, I can keep this now? Thanks. You guys are great. The balls. And that's the problem, is everybody now has these giant balls and they're just swinging them around and nobody apologizes and nobody's wrong. Nobody's ever... Because I look, in my personal life and my professional life, I am constantly apologizing. I am constantly wondering if I've overstepped my bounds. I'm constantly wondering, well, did I do that wrong? Maybe I did that wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. And it's paralyzing. I won't lie to you. We put together a 2020 page a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if I even talked about this on the air. I asked Lily if we could do a 2020 page. She fucking built it basically while we were sitting here. So then she's like, you take it over. You do whatever you want to it. And I built the page. Now it's up to you to fucking make it look like a page. I said, great. So I talked to Dave and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get a couple of logos for the 2020 page. He's like, all right, well, what needs to go on it? I said, well, I don't know. Let me talk to Lily. So then I sent Lily an email and I'm like, what needs to be on the page? And then Lily sent me an email and went, what are you doing? I told you I didn't want anything to do with fucking building this. You're the guy who's got to build it. Take care of it. Do whatever you got to do. But now I'm going to have to explain measurements. I'm going to have to explain windows. I'm going to explain all this stuff to Dave. Why is he doing a logo? And I wrote her back and I go, I'll take care of it. I'll do it. So then I went to Dave and I'm like, look, we need to put Lily's Monday Night Teas. We need to put her name on there because she's the promoter of the show. And he's like, why? I said, because it's her thing. She's promoting the show, so we have to mention Monday Night Teas. She's got this full list of things that she always likes to plug about drinks. And he goes, but you're just promoting a comedy show. I go, yeah, I understand. He goes, so let's just promote the comedy show. And I go, yes, but we have to have Lily's name on there. We have to do. And I had already talked to Lily, and she'd been like, I don't want anything to fucking do with this. And then I talked to Dave, he's like, why the fuck are we putting that on there? And I'm in the middle of it. I don't fucking know what to do. I want to make an executive decision and go, you know what? Just build it like this. But then Lily will get mad. But then I want to go, you know what? Don't fucking put any of that on there. And then Dave will get mad. And then I'm in the middle of it. Everybody's fucking mad. And I'm the one who has to explain to everybody why the fuck it's wrong.
Why do you think anyone is mad at you?
Because I think that all the time in my fucking life, constantly about everything. Because you know why? There are people mad. Like I just said in the beginning of the show, there are people out there I owe apologies to. They're floating around in the fucking ether, and eventually I'll have to get to them. Eventually, they'll have to fucking walk into an apology from me. And I don't know who I am as a person half the fucking time. How I'm perceived and how I'm looked at. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's funny. I did Never Not Funny the other day, and I'm in the studio and I'm having a good time and laughing and all that, and it was really fun. It was a good show. And then someone wrote me because they found out that I was on the show, and they were just like, "Wow, I'm surprised you didn't have a fight while you were there," or something like that. And I'm just like, "What the? Who do people think I am? That I walk around and I'm a monster everywhere I go, and I just fucking shit on everything, and I'm because this." You know, this show, we ramp up and we talk and we goof around and I get pissed. Yeah, like I said, I'll fight with a sink. I'm that fucking guy. But that's the thing is I don't want to upset anybody. Believe me, I have to talk to fucking Shannon about it every Monday. I don't want to be perceived in certain ways because I don't think I am that way. But then I try to explain myself and everybody's just like, well, no, I didn't think that, or I did think that. What the fuck? And I'm talking in circles at this fucking point. I get it. But that day with the fucking 2020 thing, I didn't know. I thought we had to plug your stuff. And then I'm telling Dave and he's like, well, why do we have to do that? It doesn't work aesthetically. And then you're like, well, now I got to tell him about this. And then you're like, and then I made an executive decision. I go, Dave, just fucking put it on there. We put it up and you call me and you go, hey, I don't want my fucking name on there.
You used my logo.
Well, because you want your logo on there to promote everything, I thought.
Do you know specifically how to protect a brand logo? No. Which is why I said to you in the beginning, put your picture up there. It's not the radio show. It's your comedy show, and you need to brand your face, and you need to brand and you're like, but no, the artwork is great, and I'm like, then do what you want.
Right, but
But
you also
my logo and put my logo on shit that I haven't approved.
But
It's
then,
my
all right, but then when
logo.
I go to fucking promote that show, you're always like, yeah, hashtag cocktails, hashtag this, hashtag that. So it's stuff you want promoted, and I have to put it in there, or I'm gonna fuck it up.
No, those are marketing terms. That is completely different.
Right, so for marketing, you needed your logo on there to show that you were the co-promoter of that fucking
marketing,
show.
You do at MNTs, I see it, and then I can retweet it so it reaches your people and my people. That has nothing to do with my logo.
Somebody needs to drag me the fuck out of here.
Which is why I said, you want to have a 2020 page rather than have it be a part of the Monday Night Teas. I get that. Brand it. You can take it anywhere then. But then you don't put my logo on your brand.
I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I belong in this world anymore. I don't know. You know, I try to be me and do what I can and I am constantly thinking 3 steps ahead to not fucking things up because I don't want to have the fight later. I don't. I'm this gun shy fucking idiot. It's ridiculous. I don't know. It's a new development or it's been going on. I don't know. I'm gun shy. I'm waiting to upset somebody. I'm waiting for bad things to happen. And I'm constantly trying to manage them and make sure that they don't. Because I've perceived myself as being this galoot who's going to just come in but I'm not. I'm fucking smart and I'm sharp and I'm not a guy who fucks things up. I'm not. So look, you've listened to this fucking show for 9-10 years. I'm kind of bananas, I guess, to a certain extent. I don't want to make anybody mad. I don't want people to be upset. I don't want people to be sad, but I also want to do what the fuck I want to do and say what I want to say and not have to fucking think about it.
Do you think there's a giant shoe ready to fall at any moment?
Yes.
Why? Because you've done some bad shit that's going to come back and make bad shit for you?
No, just because it seems like I step on my dick all the fucking time when I try to do something. And dude, how many people, when they heard the story about the guy getting dragged off the plane, immediately went, well, I'm kind of shocked that wasn't Mike. Honestly, I don't, because when I think about the shit I've done, I mean, I threw a fucking shoe at security in O'Hare Airport. And I guess because I'm not a 69-year-old Asian doctor, I'm still here to tell the fucking tale. I've taken my pants off at security. I've done all that because we all know how much I hate fucking all of those people and all that shit. I've been on planes where the fucking, the people started screaming, we taking dives. I've been all that crazy shit. But then you hear the story and you see the video and you're just like, fuck, man, that could have been me with any of the silly fucking shit I've done over the time I've been involved.
But he didn't get picked on because of karma or dumb shit he did.
He didn't. But that's what I'm saying is he's been thrown into the machine now. Where now I know about his past and I know about bad things that he did, and they're trying to use that to justify. Dude, you're human. How does not one united employee at that point? This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In the grouping, because people verbalized their concerns. Like, and part of me was like, if I'm on that plane, do I stand up and go, hey man, leave this fucking guy alone? I want to. We've talked about it on the show. I'm like, protect people that are being injured, protect people that are being hurt. And if he wasn't doing anything, you got to stop that. We as a people have to stop this from happening. If you see somebody getting punched on the street or hassled or harassed, you have to step in. And I know that seems ridiculous to say and hopeful or whatever the fuck, but there's no reason because that man now, I don't give a fuck what he did in his past. I don't care any bad thing he's ever done. It doesn't matter. In that moment, he needed help. And all he received were the eye rolls and the tongue clucks of those around him who were like, well, I'm glad that isn't me, but this is awful. And is that who we want to be? Is that where we've gone? Is that who we've become? Let me ask you this. If that's a fucking 22-year-old blonde girl, do people get involved more? Is there more outrage? I mean, I don't know if there could be more, there's a lot of outrage, okay?
Well, there's huge consequences, yeah.
But I wonder, you know what I mean? To see that he's an older gentleman, he's Asian, he doesn't speak, the language very well. He must have been terrified. I don't care if he grew up here or where he's from or whatever the fuck. He's now got 4 policemen in what is becoming an authoritarian state. I mean, the police have been militarized in such a way. Did you see that video from Florida?
Which one?
The sheriff with the 4 masked deputies telling drug dealers they're coming for them and you sleep well at night because you'll never know if the noise you hear is us?
Yes.
What the fuck you dude, you're not Patton. What the fuck is your problem? Go solve crimes. Don't hold press conferences with fucking. It looked like I put it up on Facebook or on Twitter. I put up that picture with Public Enemy. You know what I mean? Public Enemy used to bring the S1Ws on stage in full on fucking camouflage and riot gear. And people then, when that happened, they were like, oh, you're militarized. You're promoting violence against white people with these guys. What the fuck is that?
Well, that was the KKK, in my opinion.
Well, that's why they hid their fucking faces.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere, ever. But I also want to go everywhere. And again, like I said, 50-year-old white guy, they're not going to fucking bother me. It's going to be one of those things where I have the privilege of a past to walk through. But you have to get involved. But at the same time, what do I expect the people on the plane to do? Tackle the cops? And then it turns into a free-for-all? And then nobody gets to Louisville? That's the problem is everybody... It's not a problem. People are concerned with their own comfort. People are concerned with, we've got to get out of here. We've got to go. And so it was incumbent upon the employees from United to solve that in a different way than calling fucking cops and security. Because you are not United Airlines. You're Beth, who works behind the counter and sees someone in distress. And you also have to realize, because again, I recognize as an Uber guy, I'll get people in the car and I will be over it. I will have spent all day driving people and I'll be fucking miserable and but you got to recognize that when someone gets in, they haven't had that fucking experience. It's the same thing as a stand-up. Yeah. I could have the worst fucking day as a stand-up. I could have the worst day all day, fucking creditors banging on my fucking door, whatever the fuck, my aunt dies, who knows. And then when I get on stage, I got to make everybody laugh. That's my fucking job. Okay? But at the same time, I'm human, so if it bleeds through, it bleeds through. When I was in St. Louis, I got fired from the fucking security gig. I talked about it on stage. I had the luxury of being able to do that. But these employees, like I said, how do you not step outside yourself and go, what if that was me? What if that was my uncle or my grandfather or my sister? How do you call the cops to deal with that when you could have very easily gone, because again, it's easy to look at passengers as cattle. It's easy to look, because again, passengers they're terrible. I mean, they can be awful. I've been on the plane with terrible people. You know, hey, sweetie, bring me this. Hey, do that. And you can be dehumanized really quickly by people like that. So it's easy to dehumanize them in turn. But you also have to realize, unfortunately, if that's the job that you have, that these people are getting on the plane, they're going home. They're or going somewhere. They have great expectations of what they're doing. It's not, to them, it's not an everyday occurrence. Like I said, some people, I will lose my temper at the airport because I'll get behind people in the security line who are just like, I don't know what to do. Do I take my coat off? And you're just like, get out of my fucking way, because I know how to travel. You put stuff on there, you walk through, bang, you're done. It doesn't take that long. It's the people who are befuddled by it that let everybody else go, man, what the fuck is wrong with this person? But if you take a step outside yourself for a second and you go, that person's scared. They're going through a metal detector, which to us is a way of life, but to them, they might not have been out of their house in fucking 5 years or 10 years, or they might not have flown with TSA. So for them to have to take their clothes off and walk through a security monitor and a X-ray machine that could see their boobs, or to people, that's weird. That's weird for people.
It is.
To me, it's just traveling. It's whatever the fuck. I mean, the last time I traveled, the last flight I took, I got a serious pat down. Which flight? Kuwait was one of the ones from, I don't know, from Burbank or whatever the fuck. But this dude, I mean, he was up in me. I mean, he was like not fucking around. He even told me, he goes, this is going to be an aggressive pat down. I'm sorry, you want to go in the office? And I'm like, why? Because you were chosen at random. And I'm like, all right. And I mean, he grabbed my cock. I mean, he did all of it. And it's that thing where you're just going, and I admit, I was furious. I mean, and in my head, I'm just going, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone, man. Who the fuck gives you the right to do this, Ben? Why the fuck are you the guy who gets to grab my fucking balls? And I was infuriated by it. And again, it's when you're traveling, you just look at it as a nuisance. You got to do this. I got to do that to get on the plane. Why do I have to have somebody stroke my cock to get me on a fucking plane? It doesn't make any sense, because one guy once put bombs in his shoes and now they've scared the fuck out of everybody.
Yep.
There was a video floating around of a kid, I guess a special needs kid. I didn't watch it. I won't.
Yeah, it's awful.
Because I've lived it, first of all. Several times I've lived that pat down. I can't imagine a little boy having to do it, or a kid, or a grandmother. How many times have you seen them pull a grandmother aside?
Yep.
And you're just like, what the fuck is your problem, man? You know, she's not blowing up the fucking plane. I gotta be honest with you. If I'm that granny, you just weaponized her. You've weaponized that granny. The next time she flies, she's blowing up that fucking plane. That little kid he'll never forget that. This Asian doctor will never forget this. The day he was beaten by police because he wanted to fly home. This isn't Cambodia. It's not the Khmer Rouge. But it's going that way. We have an administration that doesn't give a fuck about anything except they say America, but what they mean is their own pockets. That's it. Yeah. There was a thing today where the Secretary of State said, why should American taxpayers care about the Ukraine? Because they're putting gay people into camps and exterminating them.
Yep.
It's not the Ukraine. It's the human fucking race. Just because you're lucky enough to be born here or born there or born somewhere doesn't mean you get privilege and you should look down at anybody else born somewhere else. You shouldn't. And look, it's not going to change. It's just going to get worse. We all know this. I look forward to being right there at the front of the parade and the Let's Make It Worse parade. I can't wait. This is so stupid, but I've actually considered like shooting, like learning how to shoot. I've actually considered, because I want to start fighting again. I'm about to start boxing and jiu-jitsu and stuff again as soon as the money straightens out. And I'm actually thinking in terms of like The Road and The Walking Dead and staying alive. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous. When I see this story that China is massing troops on the North Korean border waiting for us to strike. And then we say, hey, China better get North Korea. Just today he tweeted, hey, China better get North Korea in line, but if they're not, we'll take care of it. Who's we, motherfucker? Who's we, you orange fuck? You're just going to sit there and golf while you send people to die. You're lobbing tomahawks into a country. You don't know a fucking thing about it. This is a video game to this motherfucker. And people still here are like, yay, coal. I mean, man. Do you really think your $18 an hour job, A, is going to come back, and B, is enough to cleanse your soul of all of the killing and the murders and the death and the output that's going on with these assholes who you've put in to office and the rights that are being stripped from people? Fuck, I didn't want the show to turn into this. I really didn't. I didn't. But it's seeing today that guy being raked over the coals after the fucking flight, after he got beaten up, and seeing people on Facebook justifying it. Well, karma got him because of what the fuck are you talking about? There's no such thing as karma. And if there is such a thing as karma, his people invented it. He's got fucking first pick, all right?
Really?
Yeah, right?
I think that's an assumption.
No, I think karma was invented by those dudes. They invented rice, big walls, and karma.
Karma is not the same thing, though, as...
How do I get nothing for rice, big walls, and karma? They invented rice, they invented great walls, they invented karma, the end. And spaghetti. You don't get to pull the karma card on an Asian guy. You just don't. I've seen enough movies. I saw Kundalun. All right? I saw The Last Emperor. Fuck that. We got no right to say it. Okay, Joe. And I don't mean Joe like, hey, Joe. I mean Joe, as in that's your name, Joe.
Oh, man.
Seriously. I didn't want this to do this, but that's where it ended up, because that's what happens, folks. Fuck. I don't see an end to it. I don't see anything improving. That's the problem. I don't see things changing. And if anything, just today made it even worse. The Holocaust centers. Are you kidding me? Holocaust centers. That sounds like where you drop your kid off so you can go shopping during the day. That's like literally just a picture of Lil Hitler outside with his thumb up. Terrible. The Holocaust centers. And then he doubles down, and then he triples down, and then he quadruples down. That's the thing. They're never sorry. They clarify what they meant to say. Because all of them are shooting from the hip like me. But that's the thing, is I don't have to fucking clarify what I have to say. But that's what I mean, is there's a bunch of fucking apologies out there floating around where I'm going to have to clarify what I have to fucking say at some point. I want to go back into doing stand-up, and this is funny. Like, I talk about this where I used to be the topical guy. I would write stuff that day and I'd do material that night, and everybody was like impressed by it. It was a cool thing to do. I enjoyed it. It was like the challenge. If something happened that day, I had 10 minutes on it that night. Well, I can't do that anymore, because immediately this happens today, and I go on Twitter and I read 15 jokes in the span of an hour. That I go, well, that was an angle I would have taken, or that I could have taken this angle or whatever. And everybody's like, well, then you should just fire them off on Twitter. And it's like, yeah, but that's free. You know what I mean? That's me giving stuff away for what? To advertise my brand? But then if you come see me and I do the Twitter material, are you going to be pissed at me?
No.
Who knows?
But nobody gets mad at them playing Freebird. We've had this conversation.
But
Freebird Live is different than Freebird on Twitter.
Yes, all right, but I'll try to explain a little thing about me, and I think I've talked about it before. If I see somebody do something, I don't even want to fucking touch it.
Yes, I know.
I don't, because it will just look like I'm, like today, I got here, and we were going to talk about United. I go, I can't talk about it. I'm talking about it on the air. Because I don't want to hear you tell me funny jokes you've heard. I don't want to hear anybody else's take on it, anybody else's opinion on it. I don't, because that will taint what I'm going to do. And it just does, because this show is just vomited out. You know what I mean? If I had a bunch of written stuff in a script, and by the way, there was some votes on that last week when we talked about a focus show versus a non-focus show. About 50-50, actually, which was a little surprising to me.
Good. Well, you'll always disappoint someone then.
Exactly. Believe me, I've been used to that from the fucking jump.
But the point is, 50-50 means you can do both, and people will always be happy at some point.
Get you a podcaster who can do both.
You can do both.
Yeah, but I don't want to sometimes.
Well, you don't have to, because again, are you crowdsourcing the content and style of your podcast?
I did Broke LA Comedy Festival over the weekend.
Uh-oh. There's a segue.
Well, I did it, and like I said, I keep talking about I want to get back into stand-up. I want to get back into doing it. I need to get back to the clubs and do it. And then when I see it done, I go, I don't want to anymore. I don't, 'cause I only had a 6-minute set at Broke LA. So I got there and I had to park far away. Because that was the thing. I didn't know anything of what to expect from this festival. Omin, I think it was his name. He was the comedy director in Chelsea. They were cool enough to select me and bring me in, which was fucking amazing. So I pulled up at the address, and it just had like a handwritten broken sign that said Broke LA with an arrow. I'm like, okay. And there's a line with like, those bicycle racks. So I drive down, there's no parking for the festival. You have to find a spot. And it's Los Angeles. Good luck. So I drove down, I went down some side streets, I looked, and I had to park, I would say it was probably a third of a mile, maybe a half a mile away from the festival. So then I got to walk, which is fine, whatever. Give my Fitbit something to do other than shrug. Literally, like I have that Fitbit, and it does this thing where it reminds you to walk. Well, it did for the first week. It goes, bzz, bzz, and you look at it and it says, oh, this is how many steps you need this hour. And now it'll like do that. And I just look and it just says, like it sighs. It's not even reminding me to do anything anymore. So I parked and I walked, and look, I'm a half mile away. And as I'm walking up, there's like beer bottles and there's weed, like paraphernalia on the ground and shit. And I'm just like, all right. So as I'm getting closer, I get to the festival, and it's just, there's people in line and there's security people and stuff, and they're all wearing their tie-dye Broke LA shirts. And the smell of weed was prevalent. All right. It was just a ton of it. And I came around the artist's entrance, and they were very nice and very professional to me. They found my lanyard and they scooped me up. But I am clearly the oldest person in the building. I mean, I am, even the security guys are younger than me. Even the security guards or the guys hired, I could tell. One guy came up to talk to me, and they're the authority figures, and I'm like, and it doesn't help that I have a gray beard. That's probably not helping at all. So I walk in, and will part of this be self-consciousness? Probably. But also, I'm very realistic about stuff, and I'm telling you, I was clearly the oldest person in the building. And my set's at like 5:20. I got there at like 4:30. So I walk in, and I kick around the festival. As I walk in, there's Greenpeace people. There's Adopt a Pet, Adopt a Cat. There's all these organizations that want you to contribute, and it's all young, pretty girls with their, Greenpeace shirts on. Hi, sir. Would you like to sign up? I can't do that right now because I fuck whales. I don't know. So I go walking, and I go around, and there's a band on a stage, and they're 20. And there's a bunch of 20-year-olds watching them, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I go, and so I said to someone, I go, hey, where's the comedy stage? They go, oh, you want to go through the warehouse, and it's on the other side of the warehouse. So I walked in, and as I walked into this warehouse, there's food trucks parked, and then there's a DJ booth. And there's a guy just mixing, just Skrillexing the fuck out of something. You know what I mean? Just, I think that's a verb, right? Is that a verb?
I don't know.
All that shit. And then there's people just swaying and nodding their heads. So it's like this little miniature Electric Daisy carnival surrounded by grilled cheese and sushi trucks. You know what I mean? They're just, and they're all just there, and they're vaping and smoking dope, and they're again, they're all very young. And look, I was young once. I remember when girls didn't mind wearing no clothes. That was always fun. And, when you were a young guy, you could kind of steal a glance or whatever and be like, yeah, man, that's, wow, that's hot. But now, as weird 50-year-old, you can't look at some fucking 21-year-old in her, bikini top and thong as she sways to electronic Skrillex music. And you first of all, you can look. You can't look more than a second. Like you can take literally a glance over. You're just like, well, that's interesting and kind of hot. But then if you look for more than 2 seconds, United calls 4 cops and they drag you out of the fucking Broke LA festival. No. So you have to be careful. And I'm not trying to catch anybody's gaze. I'm not trying to look at anybody. And also I'm weird. I'm fucking weird. I'm just that dude because the second I walk in, just like when I went into the fucking meeting to get the photos taken, I don't know where those photos ended up. I don't know if they wound up fucking anywhere. I never saw one of them. I don't know where they wound up, but I walk in and I'm looking around. Man, it is all kids. I am older than any 2 people combined. So you have to walk through the warehouse where, again, I got to dodge beats. And I walk outside and I turn the corner and there's the artist's lounge, which is, it's just a staircase up. And if you want, I guess there's food and beverages for the artists. But I wanted to find the comedy joint. So I go, hey, where's the comedy stage? They go, oh, it's down there. So I turn and I look down. And we're now behind the warehouses in this vacant lot. Okay, but it's fenced in. It's a fenced in vacant lot with barbed wire and razor wire on top of it.
Yeah.
I guess in case anybody wanted to kidnap Skrillex, they couldn't come in from the rear. If a rape squad came, they would have a harder time getting in over the razor wire. So I walk down this very long Hitchcock hallway of a fucking parking lot, and I get to the end, and I see Chelsea and I'm like, hey, and she goes, hi, Mike, how are you? We're about to get started for your hour. It's, hang tight if you want to go to the visitors lounge or whatever. I said, okay, great. They were all friendly, incredibly nice. Omid was very nice. Omid or Omin, I don't remember which. But I look around and I look at the stages. We're outside. All right. We're outside. And I've done this before. I've done car shows as a kid, but we were indoors. And I've done festivals and fairs. Like I talked about the Orange County Fair when I won Funniest Man in Orange County. It was outside. And I won because I got to make fun of a Sousa band that fucking marched by. But this stage is just small with a bunch of beach ball balloons attached to it to look festive. And then they got the lineup written on the wall. I met Zach, the MC. He's a nice kid. And I mean kid. I mean, he's got to be 22. And then I kind of waited my turn. So I'm like, all right. So she goes, hey, we made a change to the lineup. And I was like, all right, because I don't know any of these people anyway. So she goes, all right, so you're going to go on after this person, and then we've moved him underneath you, but we promoted some people. So rather than going on like 6th, I'm going on 9th, I think it was. So I said, all right, whatever you got to do, that's fine. They made me the second to last guy. So I'm standing in the elements outside. There's people smoking weed, passing back and forth. There's lawn chairs and these little scooped out tents and logs for people to sit on. And everybody's a kid. Everybody. And in my head, I'm like, what am I going to do here? Because I'm also still trying to learn how to do this again. So I had a 6-minute set to do. So I had thought all day, I'm like, well, what am I going to do here? Am I going to do this? I could do this. Well, I can boil this down to say, and I thought about it for 3 days. I tried to make stuff work into a 6-minute time frame. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I mean, how is that going to work? How are you going to make it? And then I'm like, well, I didn't want to rely on being the guy who just went in and talked. I didn't want to vamp a bunch of stuff because I do that in the beginning, but I wanted to also have material to go into and stuff like that. So as we're waiting for the show to start, like there's railroad tracks, like right there. People are playing cornhole on the railroad tracks. And I got to be honest, the things have changed. Yeah, they're because they're not. It's blocked off. It's old school.
Cornhole?
It's a game where you toss sandbags through a hole in a board.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The fuck is cornhole?
Exactly. Well, when I was a kid,
I was picturing doing something to the railroad track.
well, when I was a kid,
yeah.
if somebody ever said, "Hey, I got cornholed on the railroad tracks," it meant a completely different thing.
God damn.
So they're playing cornhole on the railroad track, and then there's people playing Zim Zam. Like it wasn't really Zim Zam, but when I was a kid, there was a game called Zim Zam, which was like trackball, when you'd throw the ball and you'd catch it in a little paddle and stuff, almost like a weird.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're playing it with these sticky Velcro mitts. So I mean, it's just weed and sunlight and youth, and me, and I I said it on stage, and I said it on a video I posted. I said, I firmly believe the only reason I was booked for this festival was because they needed somebody of my age on site to secure the booking. That's the only thing. I essentially was hired to be a chaperone of the Broke LA Festival, and they threw me a bone to let me do some comedy on top of it.
Did that get a good laugh?
That one did okay. Yeah, that one did good.
And was it crowded? Were all the seats full?
Well, when it started, it wasn't. There was only like 15 people out there probably, but then people just kept, that was the thing, it was a mall. Yeah. So there was another warehouse where people would just walk down the stairs and they'd watch an act and then they'd leave. I mean, that was the thing. You're just basically making the circuit. When the band stopped, everybody would come outside to the comedy, and if they didn't like it, they'd leave. Nobody heckled, nobody was shitty. But at the same time, you're still out in the middle of the goddamn sun trying to make people laugh. So I'm doing this thing now, and by doing this thing now, I mean I've been doing it for 10 years. I get in my head before I go on stage. I'm not doing it so much at 2020 because it's my show. I know I have 20 minutes. I know I can go up and I'm going to be funny and I'm going to make people laugh. And the people there know me and they know what I do. Like I said, in getting back into doing stand-up, I have to learn the muscles and the discipline of stand-up because these people may not let me go off and ping pong and talk about a bunch of crazy shit. They may not want some circuitous bullshit. They might want something that's linear and that's the way to go. And so I have to figure out who I am as a performer. I have to figure out who I am as a stand-up. I know who I am as a performer, but podcast Mike is not stand-up Mike. He can't be. I have to figure out a different tack. When I was a kid, when I was doing stand-up, I had a 6-minute set. I had a 10-minute set. I had a 30-minute set. You know, you knew what you could do. But I also changed it all the time because I liked to do new material. It was boring to me to do the same thing over and over. So even if I had 6 minutes, half of it would be new. You know, if I had 10 minutes, half of it would be kind of new because I like to talk about shit that happened that day, topical stuff. It's just always the way I've worked. So, I'm standing there, I'm waiting to go on. They start the show. Zach goes up and, they said there's some poor little girl. They're like, she'll give you the light when you're ready to go. And I'm like, where is she? She's this tiny, she's got to be 4'8", and she's in a tie-dye shirt and she's got a little phone and she holds the phone up to give you the light. And I wanted to say, you can't see the light. It's a fucking sun out, but it's just, as long as she holds the phone up, you know what's going on. So Zach goes up, he brings up, another comic and another comic. And as you watch it, you go, oh, this is stand-up. I remember this. This is the muscle kicks in and you go, I remember how to do this. I think I can still do this. But in watching these people, it's so funny because all of their references are youthful references. You know, they reference Drake songs and they reference, you know, all these different things. And it's like, because again, even if I was to talk about the Brady Bunch or Hogan's Heroes or all the things I grew up with, these people would have no fucking clue what I was talking about. And that's the challenge in getting older as a stand-up. You have to stay fresh and relevant to people. And that's why I've segued into topical stuff and also into, you know, I did the topical stuff for a long time, but I've segued into storytelling about my life because, you know, those references are just, they're preserved in amber. You know, everybody has dealt with the human condition and they know what that's about. So that's why I'm more comfortable doing that. And I can make vague movie references and stuff like that. But as far as, I mean, you know, this woman, she referenced a Wes Anderson film and then she referenced like 2 characters from a Wes Anderson film. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, I saw the other day an announcement of a show that's being like, I have no idea what Broad City is. None. I don't know what it is. I don't watch Orange is the New Black. 2 people that do Orange is the New Black references there. These are the shorthand for people now. One guy did a Breaking Bad thing, and I remember in my head I went, "That's dated," like even for this crowd, because it kind of got nothing. It got a laugh at first, but then he tried to tag it, and it got nothing. And I went, "That's a dated reference for this room," because these are 23-year-old people. You know what I mean? They know what it is, but it has nothing to do with their life. So I get in my head and I worry, even though I've been doing this 25 years. So I'm like, well, I can fucking follow anybody. I can go up. I followed guys, Pardo, everybody else. It doesn't matter. So they move everybody around and they're all doing stand-up. But I'm writing while I'm there because I'm going to talk about the whole layout.
Right.
I'm going to talk about cornhole on the railroad tracks. I'm going to talk about the chaperone thing. I'm going to talk about the barbed wire. I'm going to talk about where we're at and why and how terrible it is. And which is, so I'm ready. So the first 6 comics just do stand-up. They do their stuff. Then they bring up a guy And he was supposed to go after me. He's one of the guys they bumped ahead of me to move me down the list. And he immediately goes up and he goes, "Hey, fuckers." And then he's like, "Who wants to watch me chug a beer?" And of course, everybody, "Ah!" So then he's like, "All right, you got to count it down." And he gets them involved and he gets that. And then he spends his whole time just telling them to fuck off. Like, "Yeah, we got a tent here. Oh my God." He does what I would have done, basically. He doesn't do it as surgically as I would have done it. He doesn't do it as specifically as I would have done it because I had written bits about it rather than just going, "Yeah, fucking look at these tents. Like, fucking people in tents. How you doing? Yeah, no, go ahead and fuck if you want. That's fine." Like, but it's killing. It's what you should do in this outdoor atmosphere where nobody wants to hear you go, "So I just broke up with my girlfriend." It's not a real stand-up venue. You have to attack it. And his move was great because I'm going, all right, well, these first 5 people did stand up. So I'm going to get up there and I'm going to be something different because I'm going to talk about the elephant in the fucking barbed wire, which is we're outside in some fucking concentration camp doing stand up. So I got that. I'm ready to do it. And then he goes up and he didn't do what I would have done specifically, but he did what I would have done ideologically. He just tore everything apart. And I'm up in 2. I was supposed to follow him. I'm like, and I go over to the fucking Zach and I'm like, I'm just standing there. And he goes, "You're not next." I go, "What?" And he goes, "No, they moved another person up." So they moved another comic up between us, thankfully. So it wasn't total fucking coattails right into the same shit he did. And then the next guy went up and he was funny. He's a comic. And he did normal stand up, but it worked because they were all alive from that other dude. And, because they weren't just sitting there passively listening to somebody talk, he made them part of it, which brought them into the show. And then they were ready to watch that guy do stand up. And then I went up and, I was okay. I didn't bring the fucking house down. Let's put it this way. All the improvised stuff that I wrote in the moment there did great. Said, "Hey, this is the first time I've ever done stand-up waiting for Negan to come in and smash guys in the head with a fucking baseball bat. Barbed wire? That seems extreme. Is that to keep us out or to keep them in?" Like that kind of, that sort of thing. And I said, I have to get this, I may be talking quickly, but I got to get the set done before the Tomahawks land after Assad gasses us. Anyway, because we're in this prison camp and it's all that stuff and cornhole, I'm old, blah, 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 blah. And it's getting great laughs. All that stuff did really well. But at that point, then I'm at the 4-minute mark. And in my head, I'm like, well, I need to do something else here. I can't just do this because they started to kind of wane, almost like, all right, well, let's see something more. And I have no 2-minute material. So I talked about being old. I go, "Man, I'm old." I go, it's so weird to be here and be old and also old and fat, which is a drag. I go, you know what my biggest enemy now as I get older? Gravity. That's totally true. I go, I will sit in a chair and it's not laziness that keeps me from getting up and doing things. It's the earth telling me, "No, you are stuck in this chair." Literally and figuratively for the rest of your life, you are stuck in this chair and you're not getting up because I find myself being pulled to the earth in an even heavier fashion. Now gravity, because I'm heavy and I'm big and I'm old and my bones don't work and gravity is just sucking me to it and keeping me firmly in place. That's getting nothing because they can't relate to any of it because they're not old. And then I did the bit about I try to stay fit and then I go to the gym because that's the last fresh bit that I ever did is the gym stories, like going to the gym and seeing people be gross at the gym. So I went into that and they did okay, and then I walked out and I walked off stage and people were like, "You're funny," which was nice. And then Omin comes up to me and he goes, "How did it go?" And which made me laugh because he was there. And I wanted to go, "Well, you were there and you saw, but by you asking me indicates you didn't think it went very well," which is where I leap to in my fucking brain because I'm a weirdo. But that's what I do, man. So,
did you apologize for being in his show?
Oh, sure I did. "Hey, man, I'm sorry you picked me. Fuck, I apologize. I'm glad you got me out of the way early. That makes sense. You probably should have just had a guy go for 6 fucking minutes. Would have done better."
Did you not do that?
Oh, boy. No, well, I did, because I did talk about that. I said I think I walked past 9 Skrillexes on the way in. Is that a possibility? I said, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't think any of them were the original Skrillex, but I think the original Skrillex only appears when those 9 assembled like a Skrillex Voltron. I did that on stage. That did good. Again, that's all up top with the fresh stuff, with the cornhole, with the hard wire, with the Negan, with the Assad lobbing stuff in, and Trump's an old man. And but then once I got into the stagnant gym stories, I lost him. And, it's only a 6-minute set and it's outside. And I texted you a photo because you even were like, how did it go? And I said, it was okay. I said, but considering this was the stage, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But it made me think on the way home, because I walked right out. Like, I mean, you can stay and watch bands and hang out. And I did. I walked out. I actually watched Ned, who went after me. He was very funny. And then that segment of comedy ended. So then I bailed. And I walked past all the Skrillexes. I walked past all the food trucks. And there was a band outside. They were rocking it. And I watched them do their last song. And then in my head, I was like, well, I could stay here, but why would I do that? I need to get out of here. Because eventually the police are going to come in and say, hey, a girl said you looked at him. What? A group of girls said you looked at them. Oh, that might have happened. Come on, you. So I walked out to the front, and then the young women who got me my lanyards, they go, hey, Mike. Because that's their job. They remember people. And I said, hey, what's going on? They go, you're not leaving, are you? And I go, oh, is there in-outs? And they go, no, if you leave, you can't come back. And I go, oh man, I'm parked in a bad spot, which was true. I would have lost my parking at 7 p.m. And they said, oh, well, I'll tell you what, if you go right now, just move your car and we'll remember you, Mike. No problem. Come back. I said, great. That's fantastic. And I took 5 steps and I ripped my fucking wristbands off and I walked to my car because I didn't belong there. But it's not that I didn't belong there because I'm old. And it's not that I didn't belong there because I didn't like that kind of music. I didn't belong there because I'm not a comic anymore. And I knew it when I walked off, and I knew it when I walked away. And I got in the car and I tried to figure it out. And I'm like, well, in the beginning it worked because it was fresh and you were excited about that. But then you probably betrayed yourself when you went into old material because that doesn't mean anything to you. There's no life to it. It's just delivering a DOA body. All of those jokes are dead on arrival because I've done them so many times and I don't care about them. But also when I took a hard look at it, I went, well, you know what? Those aren't really jokes. You went to the gym and people acted crazy. There's no jokes there. There's no embellishment. You're literally just conveying what happened. So that's on you, man. You haven't turned that into material yet. All you're doing is you're bringing it up and then you vamp around it. That's not discipline. That's not smart, and that's not comedy. That's just you talking and hoping it comes out funny. But then as I thought more about it, I went, well, you know what? You haven't been a comic. I said earlier, I've been doing this 25 years. Well, that's a lie. I haven't done this for 10 years. I haven't done consistent stand-up for 10 years. Think of the gap. So I was a stand-up for 15 years, and then I segued into doing this. And this got comfortable, and this got easy, and I'm good at it. And then I let the other dissipate and wither and atrophy. So for me to go to a festival, first of all, to get chosen for the festival after having not done this for 10 years, that's an accomplishment and an achievement. I'll accept that. But then it's up to me to deliver when I'm there, and I just kind of half-assed it and didn't do what I should do. And it's not fair to the people, whether they're sitting in a tent or sitting on the gravel or playing cornhole, to have to go there and listen to a guy who didn't care enough to do it right. It wasn't fair to Chelsea, and it wasn't fair to Omid for picking me to see me go up and act and not do it right. Because I will tell you this, I did, as I approached the show, I thought to myself, you can't half-ass at this. You can't not take this seriously. You can't just go, man, it's just 6 minutes. I think I mentioned that on the show here. I didn't want to be a guy who just went, it's fucking 6 minutes. I can tap dance 6 minutes. But the truth is, I can't anymore. I can't. I mean, I can vamp and I can talk and I can do it, but you know what? It was not going to work in an outdoor arena with barbed wire and so many other distractions and beats in the background and the smell of grilled cheese. And, I've got to get their attention and keep it. And the only way you do that is by being good at your craft. And I'm not anymore. And that's fucking hard, man. That's a hard truth. And I felt it in the car, and then I felt it after that evening at my house, and I was like, man, you're at a crossroads here. And it's hard to believe that a 6-minute set outside would put me at this crossroads. But it made me go, do you want to do this for real? Or are you willing to say, you know what, you're not good at it anymore? Or are you going to put in the work? Now, you've listened to this show. I haven't put in the work on anything. I mean, I haven't put in the work on personal relationships. I haven't put in the work on myself until I did. when I finally decided, you know what, fuck this, you got to work on you. And then I went to therapy and I changed. And I said, I got to work on personal relationships. And I did. I became a different person within personal relationships. I changed who I was specifically because I felt that what I was doing was wrong. And I had made choices that were incorrect. And so I never made those choices again. I fixed myself. I mean, I still got flaws and bullshit inside me, but I think that I've grown as a person. But am I willing to make that kind of hard work happen again and grow as a comic? Because again, the curse of this is that I'm good at it. The curse of this is that I can go on stage once a year at the LA Podfest and kill for an hour and a half. That's fucking insane. Ask any other comic. Louis C.K. spends a year workshopping, going out, putting together shows, and then he makes a Netflix special out of it. Dude, I don't ever perform. And then I go up and I work 90 fucking minutes and smoke it. And then take it for granted that I can do that any other time. And then I'm surprised when I bomb. You know what I mean? And I will tell you this, dude, I had a 6-minute set at that fucking thing. And once I started on the gym stories and I could see their falling faces, I got dry mouth. I literally got dry mouth going like, you know, that because that's what happens to a comic when he's not getting laughs. And that thing to be able to turn it around and spin it into something else, well, I couldn't do that right then. I committed to the bit. So I'm like, well, you got to finish this bit now. In my head, it's all fucking raging. There's a war. But as I'm talking, my mouth is dry and I'm going through the motions. And in my head, I'm going, that's not funny. It's not a joke. And afterwards, like I said, I analyzed it in the car. I go, those aren't really jokes. They're just, they're things that really happened. And they're awful or horrible. And you've made them funny with some window dressing. But so what? So what? And I have to decide if I want to be so what about all of it. And I don't. I will tell you that. That was the decision I made. I want to get good at this again. That's why we started the Patreon page. That's why I'm telling you about this. I don't know if I expect you to fucking police me or whatever the fuck. Because, I mean, you guys are out there. You're cool as hell. You guys are all like, man, you're funny, dude. You should go do it. And it's like, but the hard truth again is I'm not a comic anymore. I'm me. And I have to make me back into a comic. And the only way to do that is fucking work and discipline. And
why do you keep saying you're not a comic?
Well, I mean, not in the sense of a comedian who writes bits and goes and does bits. I mean, I don't
ever write thoughts or ideas out before you get here in your head, even if you don't hand scribe them.
Well, in my head, yeah, but that doesn't fucking count. You know what I mean? You got to sit down.
It counts.
No, you got to put on a visor.
Pen to paper
You got to put on a visor and sit down with a pen and a legal pad, and you got to scrawl your inner workings, and you got to formulate them into some sort of cogent thought. You can't just come out here and yell about an Asian on a plane and call yourself a comedian. That's not how it works.
You structure giant jokes. You structure stories that have beats and funny in them. And you do it on the fly. Because you don't sit down and write a beginning, the premise, the turn, and the punchline. You don't think that of course you do that. You just do it on a bigger scale. And I hate that you think you're not a comic, or you want to pretend you're not a comic, or you want to find a reason to think that it's not. That's bullshit.
Well, it would be different if you were a comic. You would understand what I was talking about. Well, you know what I mean. Right. And you write your bits.
I don't always write my bits. Sometimes I do exactly what you do because I learned a skill at the foot of the master of that.
Let me explain this. When I was a kid, when I was doing stand-up, I could be anywhere. And if they said, hey, you want to do a set? I'd say yes. And I'd have my set ready and ready to kill it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you want to go do a set on that porch out there with the razor wire around you? And
that was the job.
Children?
That was the job.
That was your job. But my question is that the job you want?
Well, no. The job I want is headliner all over the fucking country. But I mean, that's you don't just get to step into that. You got to start down where you belong and then work your way up.
I disagree. You can headline your own tour anytime you want. You start booking cities and you start doing what it is that you want to do on your terms. You take 20 on the road as opposed to taking, I have to go do 5-minute spots.
Yeah, but you need money. I got to book theaters. I can't just go into places and go, hey, book me. I'm totally funny. And it doesn't work that way.
How about you start by having 20 at the 3 clubs on the second Monday of the month, and then you find another venue and you put it there as well. And then you work the 20-minute set that is the long-form story that no one else is doing, and you provide the space for other comics to follow your lead, and you be the leader in the community doing a long-form comedy.
Too late. There's already so many storytelling shows and so many comics doing them.
Not storytelling shows. You don't do a storytelling show. You do 20 minutes of whatever. We talked about it, and you were like, should I book the pancake juggler friend of yours? Is that weird to do that? Because he's funny. No, it's not weird to do that. It's not weird to do the art form of comedy that you do and do really well. Just because other people aren't doing it, fuck other people. If I wanted to go be in a shitty show elsewhere and take my clothes off and have people throw dollars at me, I'd be in a strip club. I don't. So instead, I have a venue that does the art form that I want to do, and I do get to headline other shows because of it. The point I'm making is, if the job that's out there isn't the job that you think you're qualified for, make that job a job.
Understood, but you still have to have people willing to pay and come and see that job.
Do you think
Like, I would love to go on the road. I would love to go to theaters and cities and things like that. But fucking nobody knows who the fuck I am. So I show up there, I play to nobody, and I lose. It's a lost leader, and I don't even have the money to fucking do that as it is.
Why do you say no immediately to creating something that is going to be successful for you?
Because I don't know if it's going to be successful for me. You hope it is.
Okay. Do you think when Drew Carey was sleeping in his car, he thought, God, I'm never going to be good at this?
Yes.
That's how I am?
Yes.
Okay, well, if you have to run Uber right now and do 2 shows a month...
But how bored are people of hearing this same fucking horseshit and me pissing and moaning about it? I mean, I want to be a
I
comic.
don't think anybody's bored of listening to what you're saying, but again, don't define what a comic is by the terms of what other people think comics are. Do you know what I thought of when you said I was the oldest person in the room? I went, I'm so pissed that Don Rickles died and I didn't get to see him one more time. He's 50 years older than me. Okay, 40.
40.
Shut up. But the point is, I sat in that room, and he was as topical as one could be, and he played with the human condition, and he worked a room as I've seen you work a room. And nobody said, hey, Rickles, go do 6 minutes.
Yes, but I'm not Don Rickles. So, I mean, we're not,
Yes.
and he probably did 6 minutes when he
Yes.
started. That was
Yes,
the whole point.
You did 6 minutes when you started.
Right,
You
and
already
then
built
I
a
fucked
skill
up and
set.
stopped doing it.
No, you've built a different skill set within the genre of comedy.
That sounds all profound, but nobody cares. The bottom line is I just need to start doing it. I need to get out there, whether it's I'm doing 20 minutes 20, or if I do 10 minutes and it shows here, or if I get to people's towns and I do 2 hours. That's what I want. That's why there's a Patreon page. Thank you so much. I'll plug it again on the other end, but it's so I can churn. When I was doing, when I did the Kickstarter and stuff, all the money I made from the show, merch and everything got churned back into the show. So I could go out and book theaters, I could go do stand-up, I could pay for airfare, all that kind of stuff. Now, because I don't have a 2-income house anymore, because my fucking butler quit, I have to go ahead and live. You know what I mean? So I sit down and I'm like, well, can I do this and afford this? And then all the money I make in that realm has to kind of go to keeping me afloat.
If you did 2 weeks of Uber driving to make sure that you meet your monthly nut, and then you do 2 weeks of nothing but working on your art form.
Well, first of all, my monthly nut's more than 2 weeks of Uber driving. But if you combine it with everything else, I could probably get away with that. Yeah. Because I don't live an exorbitant lifestyle. I mean,
you don't.
Heroin's fairly cheap.
Shut up.
But
the point is...
You're right, but that's the whole point. That's the plan. That's what's coming.
Time on how do I resource this to be able to do the shit that I want to do?
Yes.
You gotta fail big if you're gonna fail at this.
I've already failed big forever.
I disagree. You have people who have supported you and helped you and pushed you. And
I'm not a failure. I get it. And the very fact that we're going into year 10 of this fucking show, that I just did Never Done Funny last week, it was the 11-year anniversary, and they tweeted it out and I got like 300 fucking likes and people wrote me over and over, and then and that's great. It's amazing. That's cool. And I'm happy. And this show fucking went off the rails. This used to be funny right now. Today's show is funny, and then it turned into this bullshit.
I still think it's funny.
I need to get out there. That's the whole point. I need to travel. I need to go do shows. And in order to do that, I need to get on a plane. And when I get on a plane, I just have to hope the cops don't come in and drag me the fuck off. That's it. I want to book flights, but I will tell you this. Every flight I book, whenever I'm coming to your city, I will keep my fists in an upright and locked position ready to fight them off so I can bring the comedy to your fucking town. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Shut the fuck up and do stuff. Quit pissing and moaning into a microphone about what you can't fucking do. Nobody gives a fuck about what you can't do. Just do it. You guys can find me at Facebook.com/the40year-old boy. You fucking hump. Nobody wants to hear your goddamn problems. Nobody wants to hear you fucking sobbing into an open microphone, you fuck. Go out and sob into a live venue. Then they want to hear that. Go be a sad sack in front of their very eyes. They'll totally be on board with that. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old boy. I'm on Snapchat, Mike40YOB. I'm on Instagram, Mike40YOB. I'm all over the social media. Find me at all those different places. Our friend Dave Hernandez does all of the fucking cool stuff for the show, music and artwork. I can't wait for him to draw me all sad tonight like fucking Droopy Dog.
I can't wait for him to draw you dragging off a plane.
Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But he's the art guy, the music guy. You can find him at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and be his friend, or you can go to artbydmh.com and buy some artwork. He's got existing artwork like Guyscapes and Valcons, or Valscapes and Guycons, I should say. But he's also got stuff that you can order personally, custom stuff that he'll be happy to paint for you. And then he's got other pieces of art that are out there that he has not sold yet. I think the Hendrix is still out there. I think Eddie and Dave, he did a Van Halen one. All that stuff's available for you to purchase and hang into your house. So why not? Why wouldn't you do that? Go to artbydmh.com, artbydmh.com. Ryan Dirks does the web stuff for this show. Hey, I still haven't contacted him. That's Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Go be his friend and tell him to watch out for an email from me. The great Giovanni, our superfan Giovanni, not superfan of me, but superfan of others. He is right now moving. He's moving from Texas, I think, to fucking Idaho, which is, I don't even want to get into it. He was chased out by his neighbors and a dog, whatever the fuck his life is. But he does all the cool YouTube stuff for us, so and helps me out in other ways. So go ahead and find him and listen to his podcast called Pod Gods, and he does all the Loveline stuff. Find him on Facebook. Be his friend. That's Giovanni Giorgio Peluso. No relation to Mike Peluso, former enforcer for the Chicago Blackhawks. Or is he? Why don't you be his friend on Facebook and ask him? And of course, the producer of this show is the great Lily Von Stupp, who just sat here and fucking texted for the first half of the show and then whined at me for yelling and whining, or yelled at me for whining.
Worked on the show.
Just totally texted. So, but luckily she set me straight at the end there, right? She saved the last minute of the show. That's good news. You can find her at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp and be her friend. Mention me when you do so she knows who you are and you're not just some weird creeper. You can go to many of her different Twitter accounts. She's got Twitter.com/MNTs, Twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, and Twitter.com/Boobdini. She's on Instagram at Lily Von Stupp. She doesn't use her Snapchat, so leave her the fuck alone there. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and have her read you 47 jokes about the United Airlines things before you go online and do your show, so they're fresh in your fucking brain and you're like, God damn it, I don't want to hear anybody else's take on this. You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the taxi man. Yeah, I'm the taxi man. Should 5% appear too small?
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Whatevs. I just got that when I was telling Lily's about something. I'm like, yeah, but, and she goes, whatevs, man, whatevs. And she texted. So let's talk about the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica and all of its events that they host.
I'm done. I don't want to talk with you anymore.
What are you? Oh, and now you're texting again. Good Christ. Put your phone down.
I'm not texting. I have not had my phone in the hand since you started recording.
Theater of the mind.
There's no theater of the mind.
Yes, it's good theater of the mind when you're the bad guy. And naked. You naked texter.
I'm
So
neither of those things.
Nah, not in real life, maybe in my brain. In my brain, you're a naked texter, you're just nude texting.
Oh my god. I wonder if that's a hashtag. Let me go check.
Hashtag nude texting? Hashtag naked Lily? Hashtag texting Lily? Hashtag nude texting Lily?
Naked Lily.
Hashtag texting Lily nude? Hashtag texting nude Lily?
Do you remember when people used to like do really weird things? I was gonna buy naked.
I do remember that.
I was gonna buy Naked Lily, and it would cost $10 for every spot of the picture to be done, and then the
Like
final,
pixels?
Yeah, and then the final last 3 would be the titties and the poussoir, and so it would be like I would rake all this money in, slowly filling in the puzzle. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, it sounds to me like you were thinking clearly for the first time in your life, and I don't know why this didn't happen. And also, please don't ever use the word poussoir again, or you're going to get punched.
Poussoir.
No, awful.
Poussoir. What is your favorite word for a pussy?
Pussy. Yeah, I mean,
Pussy
that says it all.
Pussy's your go-to.
Yeah, absolutely. Baby house. I don't mind that.
Yeah, but you don't want to fuck a baby house.
Who doesn't? What are you talking about? Speak for your fucking self. You can put your pegging gear away
let me
if a
fuck
baby
you
house
in your
meanders
baby
in.
house. Let me
Well,
fuck
you're
you
not
in
going to
your baby
say
house.
that
Yeah,
in the middle of the
no,
thing.
No.
No, no, pussy is. I mean, because look, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say it, and why not? I'm a bit of a. I don't mind talking dirty a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a fucking lot. I mean, like, if my mouth isn't busy doing other things, I'm probably saying really filthy things to you, and I don't mind it, and I'm pretty fucking good at it. I'll say that as well. Although you may get tired of me choking you and asking you to say my name, maybe you might.
So are you telling me that you're the thesaurus of pillow talk?
Oh, I would say I am obsequious, purple, and clairvoyant in the sack.
Literally somewhere a book nerd girl just got a stiffy.
And every Steve Martin fan did as well. All right, so that's Lily. She's our friend. And she hosts a show and books a show.
My glasses just got bigger.
Oh my goodness! So she's hosting the Monday Night Teas, which we all know and talk about and think about on occasions. As we're rubbing one out, we'll think about all the ladies traipsing the boards. It's come up certainly. I'm sure there are people out there who rub one out to the Monday Night Teas. I would name people, but then it would be a bad
Memories of the Monday Night Tea.
Certainly, they ruined many a sheet. All right, so that's Lily there. Hi, Lily. How are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic. So how was the Monday Night Teas this week?
It was a wonderful show.
Now, before there was a Dirty Birdie Story Hour, correct? With a Susanna Lee,
Yes.
Lucky Deluxe. I don't know which one she wants to be, or if she wants to be all four.
Both.
And then she had people telling filthy stories, and then later on, just actual filth showed up. It was a night of filth. Well, there's filth at the Monday Night Teas. A lot of ladies taking their clothes off and getting filthy.
That's not filth.
Depends on how you do it. You are doing it wrong if it's not filth. If you want to do, to get naked and do the splits. There you go, filth. Let's do it.
How is that filth?
Do the American splits. Do the Chinese splits. Stand on your head and do air splits. Ooh, yeah, I'm a fan.
Ooh, Arschblitz sounds like either a Swedish or a German word.
Ar-
Something you can buy at IKEA.
The Arschblitz.
I got the Arschblitz at IKEA.
Or it could be like a German sex doll.
It is a German sex doll.
Oh. Wo's du weint, du Arschblitz. All right, so it was a good show. Everybody was fantastic and
Is
naked.
that part of your pillow talk right there, by the way?
Oh, god damn your Arschblitz. Put your fingers in my mouth. Arschblitz. All right, so.
That's not so much dirty talk as it is telling people what to do. You're bossy in bed.
Well, it starts there, and then you kind of flip all over the place. You do a bunch of stuff. Look, it depends on where the mood takes you. And then you get to be with your partner, and you get to know what they want to hear and what they want to say and what you can say to them, and then you tell them what to do, and they tell you what to do, and that's fucking great.
Do you jump right in with pillow talk like that, or do you like build up to
Again, my mouth is usually very busy for a while.
Because again, it's been so long since I've been with someone else because I have a boyfriend and some friends. I haven't taken a new lover in a long time. It seems like.
All right, Lady Chatterley.
Yes. So my question is.
Well, first of all, hold on. I don't know why you're asking me because I also have not taken a lover in a long time.
Where is it the first time? Is it the second time? Do you just jump right in with, suck my balls and stick your fingers in my mouth? Or what?
Well, I like butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth.
Where does that start? Does it start before you even have sex? Is it like, ooh, I want to get you naked, and ooh, and do you start there, or? Yeah,
you can. It's the vibe on who you're with. I mean, I don't want to get too specific here and talk about stuff, but I mean, I could, and I don't, but I don't want to.
So let's do a hypothetical.
All right.
Okay, you meet a girl in Uber.
Oh boy.
And she says to you, I think you're really funny and you're really hot. And would you come back to my place with me?
Well, I would spend about 15 minutes arguing with her that those things were wrong. As we go, that's immediately what I would do.
Get past all of that.
No, stop. Well, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way to put it. Stop with this weird porn nonsense. If you meet somebody and you hit it off, and then the levels are coming off, and you're reaching, you're talking to one another, and you're vibing, and you're getting a sense of who they are and getting a sense of who you are, and then you wind up somewhere, and maybe you wind up doing stuff, and you're doing that. You might say something then and see how they respond to it. I will say this: you ask them something. You ask them you
like it when I stick two fingers in your ass while I'm fucking you from behind.
Well, you try to have a little more tact and class than that.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you just jump right in for shit?
I don't have anything planned.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're with the person and you see what's up and you do something, and there, you can grab them by the hair and look in their eyes and say something, or ask them something, or tell them to answer you, or there's all sorts of ways to look. Why are we even talking about this? But again,
because I negotiate it before we do anything. I'm like, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. Don't even think about doing that, and I don't like that either. What do you like? Okay, all right. So we're gonna do some of this and some of that. Let's do it, and we go.
So you're like a sex Walmart.
No,
You gotta have mystery. You gotta go omakase in bed.
There's always some of that happens.
You gotta go omakase in bed. You gotta take whatever the chef gives you and put it in your mouth. That's the way it fucking works, man.
I don't think that's the way it works.
Well, I mean, but you can also, if someone starts doing something that you can't see to lay out a bunch of fucking rules. That's just sex with Milton Bradley. I mean, that's just fucking crazy.
My God,
you want to have sex with Milton Bradley? Who wants to have sex with Hasbro? Nobody. You want to have sex with Yes, bro. No, man, that's just ridiculous. What you do is you start doing stuff, and then if you start, you see how the person responds, and if they don't, you can.
Yeah, that happens naturally, but it's.
Well, no, but you just said you give them a laundry list. You give them a grocery list.
We talk about very specific things.
All right, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put your mouth on both of my nipples, and then go buy celery and eggs. I mean, that's your list. It's brutal. It is. It's awful. I don't care for that. I like your tongue on my neck, and then maybe go up toward my ear, and then do me a favor, stop and pick up pancake batter.
But you and I have a difference too, because I don't do anything with anybody without a layer of protection between us. I mean, like dental dams, condoms.
What are you talking? How are you talking about me? Like, how do you know about me?
You seem to be into like spit and shit. I'm like, I don't even want to kiss someone.
Well, it depends on who you're with. Again, and if you're in a locked-in relationship where you're not, there's nothing else going on, and you know that you're trusting one another, then yeah, fuck that. I don't want to use any fucking rubbers or any of that nonsense. So I mean, if I'm in
Let's talk about the Monday Night Teas. I am so sorry I brought this up.
Well, you're asking. I mean, I'll answer. But if you're in a committed relationship and the other person is too.
I'm not committed. I'm talking about right at the beginning. It's like there's a.
Well, no, but this is the thing. I never lived in that world.
That's true.
Literally, I was in a 20-year relationship, and then I've been in a 5-year relationship. So I mean, I there was, before the 20-year relationship, there was one night stands and shit like that, and yeah, I didn't wear a lot of protection then either. You know what I mean? It wasn't really what I was. I didn't go dental dam. I mean, dude, nothing's going to kill the vibe of you going down on a chick on a staircase, like asking for the saran wrap. I mean, seriously, that's going to fuck everything up. So, I mean, you can't do that shit. You just got to go face deep, man. Go knee deep in the hoopla, and if you get a fucking rash beard, you get a rash beard. That's what happens. But you gotta you're on the diving board and you look down, you can't turn around. Everybody's watching, man. There's so many people around the pool watching you at the high dive. You got to jump into that fucking pool. You can't stop and go, excuse me, can I ask a favor? Do you have an Etch-a-Sketch I can put between me and your vagina? That's not happening.
But you would make sure there's chlorine in the water.
I assume if you've brought me home and you're ready to fucking rang-a-dang, that you fucking take care of yourself and I'm not going to have to worry about anything. But again, that was an older time. That was 30 fucking years ago.
Literally, I want paperwork and latex befor anything happens.
No, I want real life. I want 3D. I'm face deep.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I don't, if you
Oh, I talked to my
leave,
brother about sex.
if you leave with any part of you dry, I have failed. And I mean shoulders, knees, fucking toes. I don't care. Before you leave my house, you better shake off like a Saint Bernard coming out of a fucking lake.
I asked too many questions.
You brought it up,
I
man.
know, so let's talk about the Monday Night Tease. It was fantastic. It was great. Next week's going to be awesome, too. We're doing Schoolhouse strips based on Schoolhouse Rocks.
Is anyone doing figure eight?
No.
I insist figure eight be involved.
We do have an interjections.
For emotions and excitement, show it. In a connection point or by from it if the end's not as strong. So when you're happy, hooray!
Hooray!
Or sad, aw, or excited, yeek! Or mad, rats! Or excited, wow! Or glad, hey! And interjection starts a sentence right. All right, so someone's doing that, I hope.
Yes.
All right,
we
go
have
ahead.
Planet Janet. We have.
Do you have 3, 6, 9,
No, we have
12,
Ready, Set,
15,
Go,
18,
5.
21,
We
24,
have I'm Just a
27?
Bill. What else do we have? We have
30.
Verbs. We have circulation.
Oh, okay.
One of the science ones, which makes me happy.
So good. So that's next week. There's a Schoolhouse strip.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. You
I
guys should
haven't
buy
even
tickets.
advertised it yet.
Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you we've broken the story now. So that's next
You
week
heard
at the
it
Monday Night
here
Tease. First. Current affair.
No, MTV. MTV was using
Oh,
it
yeah.
here
Doom,
first.
well, and they used the Megadeth song. Doom, 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 doom. But then they never played the video. It was on that Headbangers Ball. All right.
So that's happening and it's going to be great. And the festival's coming up. Buy a ticket. # buy a ticket.
Hollywood Burlesque Festival. # buy a ticket, please. Come to town. And like I said, if you're here in town for that, maybe we can have some lunch or something. I don't know. I'll be around, I think, depending on the dates.
Memorial Day weekend.
I should be here, I think. I don't think I'm going anywhere. Literally and figuratively. But please come to town and that'll be fun. And but please, if you're here next week, come to the Schoolhouse Strip and have fun at that extravaganza. I'm just a clit. Yes, I'm only a clit. And that'll be fun. So come out and check out that show. Should be exciting. Also next Monday, there's a 2020 afoot.
What?
That's right. This ridiculously foolish idea of having a comedy show once a month is coming up on this week.
It's not ridiculous. It's really good, and it's your goddamn job.
All right, it's me and it's Nicole Amy Schreiber and the very funny Howard Kramer from from Austin Stories, I should say. So come and see Howard Kramer and Nicole Amy Schreiber, and I'll be there lurking, talking, doing some of that stuff I bitched about earlier in this show. So come out and check that out. It should be fun. Me and Howard Kramer and Nicole Amy Schreiber having a good time and being excited and exciting. And then afterwards, let's all go get a pork sandwich down at the Oyster. Who's coming? Me? You? Let's all do it. It's so close. It's only a mile away. And they cure their own pastrami. And they make like fucking weird hamburgers, like banana burgers and shit. So good. Why are you making a face?
What do they cure it of?
Oh, ho, ho, AIDS. So, our pastrami, see, that's not a bad slogan.
AIDS.
Our pastrami had AIDS, but we cured it. See, now that's not bad. That gets me in the door.
If that gets you in the door, I'm concerned about your sex life.
We pulled our pork and cured our pastrami of AIDS. That's vaguely sexual.
Do you beat the eggs and whip the cream?
Look
too?
at this
Oh my
nonsense.
God.
And we've got liquor in the front and poker in the rear. Come on. Face first.
Mike's Deli.
So come on out to 2020. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. Tickets are available at the door. Buy some tickets because, we pay these comics, man. They don't do this for free.
They do.
And
get paid.
that's
And
what I'm saying.
always shocked.
They're stunned because nobody pays anybody in this fucking town. So that's always important to me. I'm like, I got to give somebody a stipend. I got to give them at least half a tank of gas, man. And it's been working out very well so far, and we've done okay. So please come out to the show next week, 2020, and then there'll be a show in May, a couple in June, I think, and we'll let you know who's coming when that happens. But most importantly, Howard Kramer, Nicole Amy Schreiber this Monday, 2020. Check it out now. Remember, we have a YouTube channel. Please go check out all the hard work that our friend Gio has done as he's posted stuff on YouTube. We've got all sorts of neat things on there for you. And by neat things, I mean there's some iMovies that Mex did. There's a bunch of the, I think we're still only up to year 5 because Gio's life has gone fucking tits up. So he'll get to uploading more stuff as soon as he can. But right now, I think we're up to episode 38, year 5 or something like that. With more to come. Oh, I'm sure he'll get them up soon. Right now, he's filling up a loading pod and driving all night. So please go ahead and check that out at the YouTube channel and subscribe, dude. Here's the thing. Subscribe at the YouTube channel because that lets YouTube know that people are paying attention to the channel. If you subscribe, that's great. And again, what does it cost you? Fucking nothing. Just click subscribe. It's not like every second I put something up, you're going to get notified that I posted something. Although maybe you do. I don't know if that works, but who fucking cares? Then just delete that email. Just subscribe, man. Fuck. What are you doing besides nothing? Also, please remember we have a sponsor on this show. It's our friend, Jermaine. No, it's Jermaine. And, it's Jermaine. I actually have a new sponsor named Jermaine. Jermaine Jackson sponsors. And, why not? Because he's guilty. Good Lord, that's a reference from 1 billion years ago. Our friend Jerome, he sells all sorts of cool things at getthebutters.com. Go to getthebutters.com, please, and check out his neat stuff. He's got butters and balms and bombs and lubes and butters and balms and bombs. And again, as I've mentioned, anything you can stick inside your butt, he sells it, for fuck's sake. So go get butters and balms. But you know what? Go get a lube up the butter, and then rub it on a balm and put it on a bomb and put it in your ass. That's what you do, man. Where's my waitress? Take a pin and hang it in your ass, Opal. That's from 200 Motels. All right, so go to our friend Jerome's site, please, and buy a bunch of cool stuff. And when you're there, tell him Jermaine sent you. That's fine. So go buy balms and butters and lubes and loofahs and scrubs and lotions and potions and oceans of greetings will be coming your way and us thanking you. Please buy cool stuff at getthebutters.com. You have a question?
Do they have to put a code in or something?
Well, you'd use the code 40YOB.
Oh, okay.
If you use the code 40YOB, you will save money on balms and butters and bombs and lubes and scrubs and loofahs. And I think a hand job. There might be a hand job involved at some point.
I'm sure that's on
There is a hand job. However, the shipping cost is outrageous. Oh, my Christ. That would be funny. We should put a hand job thing on our merch page.
No, we shouldn't. That's
No. No. But this is the thing. It's like a hand job. That's the thing. And everybody thinks it's a goof because it'll be $500. But it turns out because that's the airfare to get me to wherever the fuck this person wants a hand job. So if they actually buy the hand job, I have to go there and give them a hand job. That's actually a funny merch button. However, you're going to be the one dispensing the hand jobs.
Yeah, no.
Only because that's what the people want.
I can't. I have a bad wrist.
Both wrists? Well, then just clap them together prayer style and go zhung, zhung, zhung. There you go. Don't use the wrist. Just go. Use all arms. How's those elbows?
For me.
Huh?
You just do it for me.
You tag me in a hand job?
I won't tag you in because both my wrists are.
No, we're both got to make the moves, and then it's $1,000. It's 2 airfares.
What do you talk about when you're giving a hand job?
What don't you talk about when you're giving a hand job?
You specifically. What's your pillow talk when you're giving a hand job?
Oh, I haven't given any hand jobs other than to me.
I don't even want to know what you say to yourself. Let's not no, stop.
You know what? It's funny that you would mention that. It's interesting that you mentioned that. I have all right. I'll just look because people care. It's not. Look, there's no talking. I'm not a coach of hand jobs. It's not like I'm like, all right, fella, get in the game. Well, you asked. What do you don't pretend that you don't care?
I don't know what was wrong with me today.
All right. So you don't care to know?
No.
Because
write him at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com if you want.
Yeah, if you have a jerk off question. Well, I've never mind. All right, who cares?
You. Literally, you just had your hand in a position as you started to say that. I'm like, I don't want to know what's going.
But because you just said your wrist doesn't work, so
stop making your hands in any shape at all right now.
All right. How about that shape? You like that shape?
I like that shape.
All right, so.
Look, I'm number 1.
Yeah, you're a couple of them. So
11.
Lily is so that's it. If you want a hand job, pay us some money.
No, balms. Buy balms.
Yeah, buy balms and bombs and lubes and butters and like I said, and also there's a hand job, but the shipping cost outrageous. And it's on a hidden page there at getthebutters.com. You got to look for it. You got to look for it at getthehandjob.com.
Is it /hidden hand job?
It might be. Blind Stroke. All right, so that's available. That's our sponsor. He's the coolest. I have a Patreon page, folks.
What?
That's right. And I want to thank people who've stepped up. Now, here's the thing: I'm supposed to thank people by name. That's part of the deal, right? But I don't know if I'm supposed to do a show where I thank everybody at once.
Okay, so let's step back a second.
Yes.
Okay? Have any of your Patreons been charged already?
I believe they have.
Okay. Who?
Well, the early adapters.
Okay.
Because it was right near the end of March.
Okay. So are you going to wait until the beginning of May in order to thank everyone from March and April, or are you going to go to your sheet, print it out of all of the people who have just joined so that you can thank them properly?
Well, is that too much in a show? Because there's a lot of people who've donated.
Now,
you know what I
if
mean?
you start with the people who did it in March and you thank all of them, then you thank everybody in 2 episodes in May or in April. Then your April people get thanked in May.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's thank the May people.
No, the March people.
Well, the March people. All right.
The people who have been charged get thanked.
All right. So that would be people like J.D. Ellis.
What?
That's right. J.D. Ellis. He stepped. Anthony Dunker from Australia.
Ah, the big AD.
He donated some cash. Jeff Thomas.
Big JT.
Jeff, husband of Hillary and Facebook nemesis, Jeff Thomas. Yeah, he causes a lot of problems, a lot of consternation on there. Charles Kingsbury.
What?
Stepped up and made some donating as well.
not.
He certainly did. Brian Merton.
Right.
Brian Merton. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Charles Kingsbury. Thank you, Jeff Thomas. Thank you, Anthony Dunker. Thank you, J.D. Ellis. Thank you for stepping up as you did. Thank you, Superfan Giovanni, who gave money for some weird reason.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you, David Estall. Thank you, Brett McCallan.
David Estall gave money?
He did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do we know David?
Yeah, he's way back from Monday Night.
All right. Well, thank you, David. That's pretty cool. He may have corresponded with me, and I may know that. I apologize. In the moment here, I don't know people. Thank you, David Estall. And did I say thank you, Brian Merton? I think I did. Thank you, Brett McCallan. Thank you, Benjamin Tahia.
Brett and Benjamin both?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah, those people like the show. Thank you, Benjamin Tahia. Tahia. He's our great friend who I've done his podcasts. I've done Murder We Spoke, which is a show about murder she wrote, but it's all a podcast devoted to that. And then I did his, the one where all the teenage girls live in a town and there's a bunch of supernatural bullshit happening.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that show is, but I did their show in it. But the cool part, like his show, he's like, hey, come on over. He buys like $90 worth of food, and then you eat it, and then you watch a show and you just talk about it. It's fun. And then I did his Superman, whatchamacallit show. Ben's the coolest.
The Superman whatchamacallit show is my favorite.
Ben's the guy who I actually wound up delivering him food once when I worked for the barbecue house. Yeah. And I just weirdly, I buzzed him and he came out and I'm like, he's looking at me and I'm like, I know you, right? And he did some work with Comedy Film Nerds. And he's like, yes. And then I've returned to that apartment several times on my own to do podcasts now. But it was sans ribs.
Does it still smell like ribs there?
No, it smells like love because he just married his partner.
Aww.
Peter
Partner?
I don't want to be that guy.
Is it Peter Partner?
What if it was? What if he married Peter Partner? And he's not a photographer. He's like a sketch artist. So it's kind of like
he's a sketch artist. I think he is a Stan Lee supervillain.
all right.
Peter Partner.
I believe it is Peter off the top of my head. Yes, it's Benjamin and Peter just got married. So congratulations to them. Congratulations there, gentlemen, and good for you. And I've met Peter once in all my travails over there to watch podcasts because he's smart enough to make himself scarce.
Wouldn't it be really funny if he actually married Mary and you just started thought
he married who?
Confused. Some chick named Mary, and you were all confused, and you were like, the name is no, it was Mary. No, it wasn't Peter at all. It was Mary.
Perhaps he married Peter, Paul, and Mary in a weird four-way polyamory type relationship.
I just laugh sometimes when you're like, who was that was with them, and you're like totally wrong.
I'm all right. So I'm guessing it's Peter. That's okay. I believe it was Benjamin and Peter. So good. I'm glad they got married. Thank you for shitting on their nuptials. All right.
I'm not shitting on their nuptials. I'm shitting on you pretending that you're like, I can't remember what that name is.
Thank you, Wayne Pishew.
What? Wayne?
Yeah, Wayne stepped up. Thank you, Jamie Ditterline, who is a fantastic fan of the show and a good friend. Thank you, Jesse Alora.
I know Jesse too.
Thank you, Aaron Swain.
Holy shit, Aaron.
I talked about Aaron on here before because Aaron donated $100 a month and then immediately changed it to 10. because he realized the mistake he'd made. He was like, holy God, I thought it was a one-time deal, I'm sure. And I probably just revealed some numbers about Aaron that I shouldn't have, but it just made me laugh, though. Thank you, Aaron Swain. Thank you, Tom Packner. Tom's our guy in Wisconsin, man. He's the best. That's right. Thank you, Sam Dentith. Thank you, Paul Was. Thank you, E. Michael Ralia. Thank you, Carlton Dorner. Thank you, Melinda Lovett. Thank you, James Williams. Thank you, K-Joe, Catherine Johnson in Toronto, who writes me an email. She's like, hey, it's Toronto fan K-Joe. That's a lot of identification, quite frankly. I know who you are. I've met you. I've taken photographs with you. I've had breakfast with you guys.
Toronto fan K-Joe.
Toronto fan K-Joe just made me an offer that I'm probably not going to be able to refuse, but I just have to figure out what it costs.
Does it involve pillow talk?
It does not, thankfully, for her. I don't think so.
Okay.
I may have to read deeper into the email.
Oh my God, pillow talk and hand job.
It does involve handiwork, I can tell you that.
Oh.
I'm just not sure in what context that I can explain here. Thank you, James Williams. I said that already.
Moves on.
Thank you, Nick Ramirez.
Nick.
Thank you, Ben.
Ben.
That's just a Ben. Thank you, Cameron.
Cameron.
Thank you. Now get this. This is bananas. Thank you, CEO of GetTheButters.com, Jerome.
Jerome.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Renee D'Ambrosio.
Renee.
Thank you, Thomas Faust. Thomas Faust, he wrote me and he said, hey, look, I don't want any of these rewards that you're offering. I just, I want you to make another Thorgar and Yeep or you mention me in it. Because we made a Thorgar and Yeep. And I don't know what he thinks that I'm making it. We just record these guys when they show up. And I'm not an idiot. No, Thorgar and Yeep's a sketch, as you all know. You're familiar with it probably. And we did one where he donated. It was the thing where if you donated enough, you'd get mentioned in a sketch. And we did a Thorgar and Yeep where Thomas Faust was being transferred to the London office to be made the head of sales. And Thorgar was furious. So Yeep destroyed Thomas Faust. And that's the one that made me, when I listened to it a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this is 3 minutes long. This is fucking hysterical. Because again, it's just me reading, a fucking... stream. It's not stream of consciousness. It's written. Every single word is written on fucking legal pads, and I have to fucking flip and record. So Thomas Faust was like, he made his pledge, and then he said, hey man, if you wanted to just do that, and so I'm here to say no, not going to happen. You'll get your rewards.
We don't get to take special requests.
I usually do not. No. Thank you, Les Gebhardt.
Les.
That's right, our friend Les, who's been to the Tees. We've seen Les there. Thank you, Nick James.
Nick.
Or Nicholas James. Thank you, John Sheffield.
John.
Thank you, Matt Pipkin.
Oh, Matt. Really?
Matt Pipkin, who posted an amount and then also changed it to a bigger amount.
What?
Yeah, that was nice of Matt Pipkin.
Matt.
Yeah, he's the king. Thank you, Ahmad from Kuwait. Look at him donating some cash. Very nice of him to become a patron, if you will. Thank you, Scott Gerwitz.
Scotty.
Thank you, Stephen Brogy.
Steve.
And thank you, Jake. All right, and that's I actually bled into April with some of those, but then when it comes later on, I'll be thanking more people as the time goes by. Every week I'll thank somebody, and I may thank some of you all over again. Just look at that; it's a fun bit to thank people. Look at the time we wasted; it was fantastic.
Is it fun?
Fun for me.
It is fun.
Maybe you hated it. Maybe you're just the person who hates
appreciate
fun.
People who are kind and caring.
Well, certainly they've stepped up, and they're all patrons of the show, and they're all on the other end of the string. They're all the ones shouting "Dance, monkey, dance." I'm the one doing the fucking Charleston for these people, so why not? So thank you, patrons. And I'll throw this out to you guys as well. I put it on the Patreon page, but I'll throw it out to listeners. Although, if you don't donate, I don't really know why I would want your opinion, but I guess I do for this particular thing. And I'll ask you too, because you're a Patreon person. Do you think I should publicize the amount I get per month?
I just took mine down.
Because on the page, what it is I'm just showing the amount of donors, but I'm not showing the amount that I'm getting.
I just took my amount off.
All right, I've been told, I'm of two different schools of thought. One is, if you don't show the number, then people will be like, I don't know what he's making. Maybe we should go ahead and donate to the show. But if you do show the number, or is it arrogant to not show the number? Are people like, hey, that's weird that he won't tell us? Or if I do show the number, are people like, nah, he's getting enough. I don't think I need to give any more. Or I know I have to give him another dime because he's already got enough to cover whatever.
I left my amount up for the first year.
Well, I'm sorry, were you doing Crazy Train just then? All right.
I left my amount up for the first year, and then I decided to take it down because it's not relevant.
Right.
It's not. And I don't want people to feel pressure or not pressure. I want people to come in and go, this is worth giving. It makes no difference what else is happening.
I've been told by Superfan Geo, no less, who has his own Patreon page and is a wizard at it. He's like, you got to put the number up. He goes, because people will go to it and they'll go, oh my God, it's only that? We got to go ahead and give them some more to take care of them. He goes, people, if they see the amount, they like seeing the number go up when they contribute, and they like seeing the number get higher, as opposed to you keeping it close to the vest, and then people aren't as involved in it as they should be. So I understood that logic too. So I don't know. I'm going to figure it out.
I just took mine off, and now I think I'm going to put it back on.
Yeah, well, whatever you guys think. I'll take some ideas if you guys would like to see it, if you want full transparency, because you're the ones kind of giving the dough.
Well, I don't think it's transparency, because you can talk about it in your posts and say, we just hit this point. We just hit that point.
But when you set up the page, you can actually make it where you can have a goal per month for an amount.
Which I have.
Yeah, but I have the goal for donors that I want to have.
But you can actually have both.
Yeah, I guess. But I whatever. So here's the point. Give me your ideas. What do you fucking people think? Would you want to see the number? Would you not want to see the number? Do you not fucking care? I don't know. But if you got involved in the Patreon, I would love you. I would be so happy. And I'd say your name, not unlike the way I just said the names of the people that are involved already. So please, pledge what you can to the Patreon page and help us out. And then I'll come to your town. How great will that be? There will not be any hand jobs involved, but I will definitely come to your town. So please go ahead and donate and pledge and all that stuff. Thank you. It's weird for me to ask this. It's weird for me to mention it. And it's weird for me to keep telling you how fucking weird it is. I get that. But,
don't think it is,
but thank you so much for everybody who's here. Rob, you leaving?
Yeah.
That's an interesting purple shirt, dude.
Isn't it
That's a good
awesome?
look. It starts.
It's kind of faded.
It's well, ho ho ho. I was about to mention to people on the air that it's got dark purple at the shoulders all the way down to a lavender at the tail. Good looking. Yeah, it looks like Barney has vitiligo, but it's not bad. I like it. All right, see ya. That's Rob the Balloon Guy. Please don't rob him.
Just my name.
We have an Amazon page. Well, first of all, we have MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can go there and go check out MikeSchmidtComedy.com. How professional is this show, by the way? I'm recording in a stripper's kitchen and people just wander the fuck through. That's from year 2 that happened, right? Or year 1. We were in you and the ex's condo, and then people were trying to fix it, and they were just wandering through, and I'm doing the show, and
Yeah, that was fun.
no, I wasn't happy. What a surprise! I wasn't happy. Please keep texting. It's great. It's not the end of the show or anything. All right, so
Not texting.
all right. So folks, we have MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go there, check out cool stuff. We've got all sorts of different pages. All those are changing soon. But we go to the Joe Business page. We've got shirts for sale. We've got music for sale. We've got the Word Pimp Schmitty and the Misanthropic Gangster album. We've got the Heroes album. Those are free with a donation to the show. Sounds like an oxymoron to me, but oh well. So you can go ahead and get the download sets individually if you still want them to carry around with you and have in your home. But if you don't, I totally understand. If you just, because they're going to be on YouTube eventually and you can go ahead and listen there. But some people want to take them walking. Some people still want to own them and have them so they can go ahead and play them and do what they want. But that's up to you guys. If you want to buy that stuff, go to the Joe Business page and check out all the download sets. We've got stuff at tweakedaudio.com/40YOB. And those are headphones. You're good, Eddie. I'm in your fucking house, for fuck's sake. I mean, terrible. I come over here and take over. Eddie lives here, and the poor guy's got to hide in his room, eat fucking noodles, sneak out. It's fucking awful. I'm grateful and gracious that these people let me come into their homes. You know, I mean, it's weird that Lily doesn't pay attention to the fucking show anymore, so that's fine.
Paying attention.
You're on your goddamn phone. All right, so go to the MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. And we have the Amazon link, as I've mentioned, folks. The Amazon link is important if you use that because you're going to buy stuff from Amazon anyway, right? Aren't you? We all do. They're taking over. They're crushing brick and mortar from pillar to post. They're smashing all of these storefronts into dust. And they are going to be the only game in town at this point. And I got in the ground fucking floor. So why don't you get in the ground floor with me as I'm in the ground floor with Amazon and buy all your stuff through the Mike Schmidt link. You get money. They get money. I get money. I get money. They get money. You get stuff. That seems like a lot of things. I get money. They get money. You get stuff. I got in a loop there. But that's the way it works. They get money. We get money. You get stuff. Perfect, right? Use the Amazon link. We're buying stuff anyway. And then we get credit and everybody's happy. We're everybody in the fucking world is happy. I can speak very confidently that everybody in the world is happy.
Everybody.
So use the everybody in the club getting tipsy. A lot of breath in 90s rap.
Has everybody really been around that long?
Boom, 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 boom. That's, well, we know what that is.
Has they really been around?
Airbody?
Since 20 years ago?
Well, I think everybody said Airbody for years and years, but in a song, I don't know, because I just know it from Tipsy, which is who's that? Jaquan? Who does Tipsy?
Fuck if I know.
I don't know. Redhead Kingpin? It's totally not him. that's totally 80s. Johnny Cash did Tipsy.
Waylon Jennings did.
Well, everybody in the club getting tipsy. That's my Waylon Jennings. Actually, that's my generic country guy. Could be anybody at all.
Generic country guy.
That's me, GCG.
Let's start a band, generic country guys.
GCG on the bass drum. Well, I'm doing a song about the South now. See, it's perfect. I'm a great country guy. When Jill and I would run around, every time I hear that, I'd think of her, and then she stopped liking country in like 5 minutes. It was bananas.
Was it because of you?
Could be.
In your country?
I'm sure I did something. I queered the deal on country music. All right, so
Schmitty.
please, folks, that's Schmitty.
Oh, Schmitty.
Oh, hey, Schmitty and Randor. All right. Generic country guy, man. It's not bad. So here's the thing. We're leaving, right? Should we just leave with a bunch of generic country guy?
Did you do David Hernandez?
I plugged Dave Hernandez in the pre-plugs.
That's right, we did.
Yeah,
So
I called it the
everything.
I
think you should sing us out.
I think I should sing us right out.
I think you should do the lyrics to Tipsy with that voice and just.
I don't know it well enough. Give me another.
Let's get it
all right.
up. Bring the lyrics up. I think that we're gonna close the show with a little country Tipsy.
Look at you producing the show late. Earlier, you're on your phone.
Well, I tried to produce it in the middle, but I got the look of "Don't say that."
I don't know if any of that happened.
Oh,
Sure.
I get the "Don't say that" look a lot.
Ding, ding, ding. Teen drinking is very bad, y'all. Yo, I got a fake ID, though. Yeah, yo. Two-step with me. One, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Everybody drunk out on the dance floor. Baby girl, let's jiggle like she want more. Like she a groupie, I ain't even on tour.
Oh, man.
Maybe 'cause she heard that I rhyme hardcore. Or maybe 'cause she heard that I buy out stores. Bottom of the 9th, the nigga got a score. If not, I gotta move on to the next whore. Here come the 3 to tell you, you want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail. Get on a plane. And then come back and revisit it 2 days later. Because that's the most important stew in the universe. Were there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned.
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see.